held accountable for what's going on around here. We shall see, because Big Tiff still, she ain't been indicted or nothing. She living her best life down there in the ATL. Shout out to TLA down there in the ATL. But we gotta get to it. There's so much stuff, because let me see. Maduro and his wife were entered a plea today. The stuff with Jamal Bryant is still going on. Timmy, and then the reactions of Venezuelans, and then Coach Greg Adams is back today. Child, he still might be streaming. I swear he's on like a 24-hour stream or something. And it looks like him and Anton might be getting into it. I don't know. We got to try to figure out, see what's going on. I tried telling him, I'm like, I don't think Anton was coming for you, boo. You've been gone a long time. He was over there in Asia, hanging out with Linglings, as he calls them. Don't come for me. That's what he calls them, okay? It seems like he enjoyed himself. But we'll get to that at the end. All right, so let's go ahead and get through it. Shout out to everybody who is here. Please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you are new. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. If it don't look right, go back and change over to the other live stream, because that's probably the live stream you really want to look at, so it looks right on your phone or on your computer. All right. So let's get into it briefly with this Jamal Bryant, because I'm about done with his ass. I mean, I've been done with his ass, but this story with this damn dress. But I did a second video on him after Wooden said something. Bishop Wooden over there in North Carolina, I forget what city it is, right? A real pastor, okay? And Jamal was justifying that dress in church or Sunday service or New Year's Eve service or something. And so then I came upon this right here, right? So this is their thing. You see this dress, right? This is just their thing. But is this y'all tell me, I know this is an expensive car, right? Is this a Bugatti? Oh no, it's a Rolls Royce. I see the RR on the, is a Bugatti and a Rolls Royce the same thing? Because I see the RR on the tire. So it's a Rolls Royce. So how much is a Rolls Royce, y'all? I know you sassy straights must have an idea. So while I'm waiting for that, you see the dress that she has on. So this is their thing. This is what they do. So they want people to look at her and look at him and look at their car and look what they have. You know what I mean? Is that how pastors are supposed to be now? Remember who else used to be like this? Lamar Whitehead. You remember he went to jail because before this time he went to jail because he was fleecing people, and then he was bragging about everything that he had. And now, or he came back out, got out, and did the same damn thing, took that lady's money, and so he back in the pen. It's giving some similar shit. $600,000? I know you lying. This car cost $600,000? Oh my God. 700. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. 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 Okay. I'm speechless. I'm speechless. He's bragging, y'all. In my opinion, this is a year old. This just came up on my feed. He is low-key bragging. Yo. Wow. So no humility, none of that? No humbleness as a pastor? I wonder how well those people are doing down there. What y'all think? I wonder how well all those people that go to, what's it called? New Age Bishop Church, whatever it's called. I wonder how well they're doing. Because let me tell you something. I'm not going to go to a church where my pastor and his wife are running around town and taking pictures in $600,000-$700,000 or so car, while probably buying clothing. This is amazing. That costs similar, and you telling me to sell stock? Let me see your portfolio, child, because something is missing. And the fact that those people should know that you're financing this because it's a church. If you're not coming up like them, not saying that you would get the 600, that you could afford $600,000, right? But if you're not going to a church where you want to come up and you always downtrodden and you always ain't got nothing, I mean, yeah, it's your fault, but you still gonna give to somebody that's low-key bragging in front of your face a $600,000, $700,000 car? And then these bodysuit dresses? And then insulting you at the same time? Wow. All right, y'all. Whatever. They like it. I love it. Oh my God. Yo, Reaper said, preacher gonna need a new jet. Just watch. I remember when Creflo asked for that jet. The thing is that I've heard him preach in person, which he's a fine preacher, but I just couldn't get out of my head the fact that he said that basically y'all need to go ahead and donate so that I could get a jet. Is it about even faith anymore and teaching people the word and how to live properly, live right, or anything like that? It's just about the money. So the church is honestly no different than politics. Maybe that's why he's easing on into that, allegedly. Because in my opinion, Jamal is leaning into politics. How come nobody is telling him that he needs to shut the fuck up? But Stephen A. Smith, they shamed his ass into shutting the fuck up. Y'all remember that, right? Is that because he's saying everything that they want him to say, and he's D9? Lest we not forget that. He is definitely D9. He on the Democratic. What if he's on the Democrat list too, y'all? Oh my God. Oh my God. Shut up. I'm so flustered and flabbergasted right now. Shout out to Trap. I appreciate you. He said, this is how Mr. Messy and Messy step out every time they close on a new property. I wish, child. I wish. Wow. Excuse me. This lady looked like his ex-wife too, in my opinion. They favor one another. So he definitely got a type, child. I don't even know what else to say. Wow. Could it be a rental? I mean, it could be, but why y'all blame Joel Osteen? Oh, he does the same thing. I know he has a mega church where in Texas, isn't it? And he wouldn't let the people in because they didn't want him to mess it up. Yeah, he ain't shit either. So while everyone is talking about these politicians, which we already knew were a mess. I mean, every day there's a news story about another politician that's done something wrong, doing something wrong, working on doing something wrong, has done something wrong, going to jail for what they did wrong. We're just going to absolve the church. They're nonprofit. I mean, I guess they just let Nancy Pelosi do whatever. Wow, he's in Houston. Okay, Houston. All right. Anyway, all right, this is enough. I've had enough. Please don't say nothing else, Jamal, because I really don't want to talk about you no more. Let's get into it, all right? Maduro was in court today, you know, that your president just kidnapped, and a lot of people are up in arms. A lot of people are okay with it. Some people are saying he's a dictator. Other people are saying he did the right thing. Other people are saying he's about to be the new Hitler. Child, we're all about to be run under fascism, child. I said, all right, y'all, just let me know what's going on, okay? This is from ABC News in New York. It says, here's what happened during Maduro's first court appearance, because, of course, we can't see inside the trial, which probably is good at this point. I think this is the same place where Diddy was when he went to trial, too.
We are learning new details after Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife made their first appearance in federal court this morning.
The two entered a not guilty plea after being charged in U.S. military operation over the weekend. Eyewitness News reporter Irene Cruz joining us live in the newsroom with the very latest details. Irene.
Yeah, Philip, Colleen, good morning. It was a short proceeding. No cameras were allowed in the federal courtroom, but as you mentioned, we are learning both Maduro and his wife have pleaded not guilty. Their attorneys now preparing to challenge the legality of what they call a military abduction. Now, these were some of the images outside the courtroom during the arraignment. We also have video of Maduro and his wife being transported to the Manhattan courtroom earlier this morning. There were dueling protests happening outside. Maduro and his wife arrived in shackles and they were seated separately. Through a translator, they were informed of their narco-terrorism charges for their two separate cases.
Narco-terrorism, and they got two separate cases, so one for her and one for him? Narco-terrorism.
Both pleaded not guilty. Maduro said in court, quote, "I am innocent. I am not guilty. I am a decent man. I am still president of my country." Now, in front of the judge, Maduro and his wife tried to assert early on they are the legitimate leaders of Venezuela. The judge interjecting, saying this is not the time or place to present their defense. Currently, the U.S. and more than 50 countries do not recognize Maduro as Venezuela's legitimate president. The defense attorney—
Wait, who don't recognize him? Hold on. What?
Judge interjecting, saying this is not the time or place to present their defense. Currently, the U.S. and more than 50 countries do not recognize Maduro as Venezuela's legitimate president.
So the U.S. and 50 other countries do not recognize Maduro as president. So it sounds like maybe allegedly, as we figure this out, Donald Trump is not alone in what the heck it is that he's doing. Because, others are saying something different.
The defense attorneys plan to challenge the legality of their capture and custody, claiming Maduro is head of a sovereign state. So we are also learning the wife was significantly injured during the raid, a possible fracture or bruising on her ribs. She is requesting a medical briefing. Now, Maduro also took notes during the proceeding and asked the judge for permission to keep them. Both did not seek bail. We're expecting separate trials here, which could begin in months or even possibly years. The next court appearance is scheduled for March. Live in the newsroom, Irene.
March? We gotta wait till March for something to happen? Oh, no. All right, so I Googled narco-terrorism, which obviously has to deal with drugs, but narco-terrorism refers to the convergence of international drug trafficking and terrorist activity. Terrorist activities too? In 2025 and early 2026, the term is taken on heightened legal and military significance as governments increasingly designate drug cartels as terrorist organizations to authorize direct military action. That makes sense. Ousting and trial of Nicolas Maduro. Okay, that's up to date. Operation Southern Spear, a 2025 U.S. military operation targeting narco-terrorist vessels in the Caribbean and Eastern Pacific using kinetic strikes. Terrorist designations. In 2025, the U.S. government designated several major Mexican cartels, including the Sinaloa, CGNG, and Gulf cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, FTOs. Expansion of authority, a 2025 executive order expanded military authority to employ force against drug cartels and target their leaders through direct military action. Well, I believe that's what he did, right? Notorious organizations and figures, Venezuela, the cartel of the Suns, Cartel de la Sol. Oh, they talked about them. Allegedly led by the former Maduro regime. In Mexico, it's high-ranking leaders like Ivan Archibaldo Guzman Salazar, Sinaloa, and Nemesoa Guerrero Cervantes, CJNG, were classified as global terrorists. Child, do y'all know about these people? I ain't never heard of none of these people. Colombia, historic groups like the Medellin cartel led by Pablo Escobar, and modern paramilitary groups like Clan del Golfo. In Central Asia, the Taliban and Islamic movement of Uzbekistan, IMU, have historically used opium and heroin sales to finance their insurgencies. Oh, no. Oh, no. All right, I'm not going to read the rest of that, but just wanted to make sure we know what narco-terrorism is. Let's go see what the is. We got pictures. Well, it looks like whoever did the artistry on Diddy is not the same person that did the artistry on Maduro. Okay. Soy inocente. That must mean I'm innocent. Maduro says he's innocent during U.S. court hearing.
Nicolas Maduro, the deposed leader of Venezuela, made his first appearance in a U.S. courtroom answering charges of narco-terrorism. This was the end of a legal odyssey and indeed perhaps a military odyssey, as his lawyers and he protested in court today. He said that he was kidnapped and captured at his home in Caracas, Venezuela, as U.S. forces went in and seized him on Saturday. Since then, Maduro and his wife, who is also charged, were flown to the United States, placed in a federal jail in Brooklyn, and then today, under heavy security, brought to the Manhattan courthouse behind me. Maduro entered the courtroom wishing people in the gallery—
Doesn't this look like a movie scene?
Happy New Year. But then he turned defiant, telling the judge that he has been kidnapped. He has been captured at his home in Caracas, Venezuela, and that he is the elected leader of Venezuela and has the right to run his country as he sees fit. Maduro pleaded not guilty, telling the judge, "Soy inocente." He spoke Spanish throughout the proceeding and had a translator providing him with the words being spoken in English. He took copious notes. And as the proceeding was ending and he was being led out of the courtroom, a man in the gallery stood up and started heckling Maduro. This man said that he was a political prisoner in Venezuela. He called Maduro an illegitimate president. Maduro, also speaking in Spanish, shot back that he is a kidnapped president and that he is a prisoner of war.
Oh, Lord, 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 help your people. They acting up. They acting up. They acting up. All right, let's see what Eyewitness News, Lord have mercy. Dueling protests held in Lower Manhattan as Nicolas Maduro and his wife are arraigned. Y'all hit the like button before we subscribe if you are new.
Court today. Meanwhile, it was a chaotic scene outside of court today where crowds gathered for dueling protests earlier today. There are very strong opinions on both sides. Eyewitness News reporter Darla Miles is also live outside the court with that part of our coverage. Darla.
Well, Liz, after being in the courtroom as well this afternoon with Nicolas Maduro and feeling that intensity, it is no surprise that translated into the crowd out here outside of the courthouse. It was really just a bottleneck of people for a few hours, with the NYPD having to increasingly just try to get between the middle of them to keep everything calm.
I left Venezuela due to the fact that he was chasing us. He was chasing me. The military, his military was chasing me.
For the dozens of Venezuelans converging outside the federal courthouse Monday afternoon for the appearance of Nicolas Maduro, it's very personal.
Damn, they got t-shirts out already. Oh, Lord. New York don't waste no time, y'all.
Chasing me. The military, his military was chasing me.
For the dozens of Venezuelans converging outside the federal courthouse Monday afternoon for the appearance of Nicolas Maduro, it's very personal.
This is about those whoever that took Maduro out of his house, took the person that was responsible for all of my friends dead in Venezuela, for my grandfather dead in Venezuela. It's just an idiot.
But this wasn't a normal protest.
You want to be a Trump puppet? Go home. Go home. What's happening?
Go home.
It was a shouting match.
Wait a minute.
What did I say? You said you're not screaming out. That's all it is.
Child coloreds, blacks, FBAs, why are y'all in this? Why are y'all in this? Why are y'all down there messing with these people? Oh, Lord, always got to be getting into something. Let them people deal with their own shit. You down here telling them to go home. It's been 5 damn minutes. Child.
But this wasn't a normal protest.
You want to be a Trump puppet? Go home. Go home. What's happening? What's happening?
It was a shouting match.
What did I say? You said you're not screaming out. That's all it is.
Maduro's arrest, polarizing. From the American military operation to Maduro's reign as president, and many emotions in the gray area.
Happiness, sadness, all of them together at the same time.
What's the sadness for?
Because my country was bombed.
The whole thing, a powder keg.
You just don't like what he did. And if he's going to do it, then ship it back to Venezuela. Why are you going to bring him to the United States?
I do support Maduro. I support someone who is able to speak to causes I resonate with, who is able to advocate for the needs of his people, and who will
Maduro was advocating for the needs of his people, according to this man.
stand 10 toes down with that.
They want him free.
He stands 10 toes down with that. Sounds very American when you start talking about 10 toes down, child.
Why are you going to bring him to the United States?
I do support Maduro. I support someone who is able to speak to causes I resonate with, who is able to advocate for the needs of his people, and who will stand 10 toes down with that.
They want him free. For what? For killing people, for killing students, for killing families, separating people from our country? No, that's what I said.
That sounds like a Spanish cuss word.
Again, all eyes of the world here on New York City. And I can tell you another evidence of that. When I was leaving court this afternoon, I was in the elevator with a woman from Venezuela. She said she was just here in New York City visiting her daughter. And when she found out about Maduro's arrest, she made her way down to the courthouse. She says it's been something she's been waiting a lifetime to see. Reporting live in Lower Manhattan.
Okay, child. Well, there's not good stuff going on down there, child. Not good stuff going on down there. Stay away from New York. Black people, stay out of it. Black people, can y'all stay out of some shit? We ain't got shit to do with none of this shit, so sit your shit ass down. That's my 2 cents. I know y'all gonna do what you want to do. You don't know? Fine, I don't know. When you get caught in the middle of something, we do not care. And if you think BLM is coming to save your ass, think again, all right? So I found this cute young man here, Brandon Lehman, okay? 590,000 subscribers here on YouDamnTube. Shout out to him. He has a video here that I'm going to show, not all of it because it's only 15 minutes. Democrats humiliated after begging to release Maduro. So you got Democrats, y'all. So you got Democrats over here begging to have that man released. Child, we're in trouble over here. Can no one do anything? Can no one work together around here? And then there's people waiting for the government to do something for you, and these people can't even work together? Ooh, Lord, help your people. Come on, young.
Democrats lost the entire Hispanic vote for a generation. Radical, self-righteous white liberals have been protesting across the country, demanding Nicolas Maduro be released, even clashing with...
Why are you even doing that? That has to have, that absolutely, I'm sure, has to do with TDS. I am absolutely sure that has to do with TDS. Because like Uncle Rick said, and I'm not saying that the politicians didn't know, most people didn't even know this damn name until it ain't even been a full week at this point. Didn't know nothing about who this man was. Now it's all this, oh, let him go, release him. That's just to appeal to their daggone, their base and their constituents and all that stuff. Child, please.
And trying to silence Venezuelans who are celebrating Nicolas Maduro being arrested. And the message could not be clearer. Democrats aren't just pro-illegal alien. They're not just pro-Somali fraudster. They're not just pro-criminals terrorizing our city streets. They are pro-narco dictator who starves his own people. As always, like the video and subscribe to the channel. But let's start with seeing Nicolas Maduro getting perp walked into the DEA office in New York City.
Good night. Happy New Year.
That was one of the most badass things I've ever seen. Make sure you smash the like button. Only our president could do that. In 2024, Maduro lost an
clearly he's conservative
election and refused to relinquish power. And Democrats across the board condemned him and called for him to be removed from power. In fact, Joe Biden raised the bounty on Nicolas Maduro to $25 million. He even let in 600,000 Venezuelans because Maduro was so oppressive and dangerous. But now
I think we found that out yesterday or one of these days when we've been covering this, but you know, people don't want to look into anything. Yes, I'm dependent on ChatGPT. I ain't got all day. All right. And they actually did say that Joe Biden had something, you know, he was involved with it, but he didn't move on anything. It's just easier to just let any old body come up in here. And now we've heard that that's where Trinta de la Renta or whatever the hell they call came from. Those were the ones that was over there holding the apartment complex hostage, if y'all remember.
Now, since Donald Trump was the one to solve the problem, Democrats have done a complete 180 and are profusely opposing this till they're red in the face. The common regurgitated nothing burger I've been seeing circulating social media is you can be opposed to Nicolas Maduro and also be opposed to what Donald Trump did. And the only reason Democrats could allow themselves to say something so embarrassing and meaningless and vapid is because it encapsulates their entire identity. Performative virtue signaling. They avoid having to actually solve problems and instead just condemn problems because then they can just pat themselves on the back for being a good person who stands against a bad thing. They would rather have Venezuelans perpetually suffer than Donald Trump liberate them because it forces them to acknowledge their own incompetence. And all this coming from the party who brags about their empathy, but refuse to empathize with actual Venezuelans who lived under this tyranny because it contradicts their sense of moral and intellectual superiority. And that's how you get a clip like this out of Times Square, where a bunch of elitist white socialists are browbeating Venezuelans on why they're wrong for being happy about Maduro getting arrested.
So why people? So y'all out here telling Venezuelans how they should feel about who they are in their country and their alleged dictatorship, how they feel. I mean, it is majority rules, but y'all don't live there. See, this is what I said yesterday about the freedom of America, where everyone is complaining. They're so oppressed. It's not fair. They don't have stuff. Donald Trump should do more. This administration. Oh my God. Go talk about Elon. Then when Elon get on your ass and you feel some kind of way. Y'all love this freedom and don't even realize the amount of freedom that you have until your ass get called out on it. How the hell are you going to tell them how they're supposed to feel? I ain't got no way to feel because, child, as soon as she said that the electricity goes off, which I'm familiar with rolling electricity, but they can't even go get no medicine. They can't even go get no damn food. But you people sitting up here begging the same person you said was a king to feed y'all's punk asses. And now you want Ma'am Danby to do that mess. Now you got him all up in there and you going to talk to someone else about their plight and how they should feel about their plight. If that ain't freedom, then I don't know what is. You can't make people happy, y'all. You just cannot make people happy.
Thank you, Mr. President Donald Trump.
What?
Thank you.
He's
Maduro, Maduro, narcotraficante.
he saying?
Venezuela libre. Regresen, que Estados Unidos no lo quieren. Regresen, que Trump no lo quiere. Regresen, que Trump no lo quiere.
Democrats are going to lose the 2026 and 2028 elections and then pretend to be baffled as to why. This is why. You are a bunch of pretentious elitists who demand everybody submits to your distorted worldview because you simply think you know better than everybody. And one thing all Hispanics understand and sympathize with is narco dictators ruining their home countries. And you are supporting and defending this guy and condemning the United States for removing him from power without losing a single American soldier or killing any Venezuelan casualties.
Yeah, that is actually a good thing that no one seems to want to listen to and hear. Now, we already read about, is this legal? Is it not illegal? It said gray area. It said gray area because he did have the bounty on his head. Trump did go in there and get him. He said nobody lost a life. All of our soldiers came out. Nobody is down there. But now y'all hate, not y'all, you know what I'm saying, but y'all hate Donald Trump so much. Your Trump derangement syndrome is so bad that you would want someone who had this bounty on his head to go back to oppress those people. But these will be the same people that sit up here and they're fighting for, I'm not going to say their names, but fighting for what's going on over there in Gaza and how it's not right and how this shouldn't happen, blah, 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 blah. But this is okay because Donald Trump went and did something that I didn't say all, I said most of these people seem like they're down with it. But because it was him, child, send him back. This is not right. This is not right. He's a dictator. I just had a conversation with somebody that sat there today, somebody that said that this is how Hitler started. And this is what he's about to do, meaning Donald Trump, allegedly. But that's what this person is saying. But, everybody can have their opinion. The thing is like I said, Americans, if they don't see how they can have the freedom to say whatever they want, because it seems like, allegedly, only because of what we've been talking about in recent weeks, right, or days, is that they can't go back there in Venezuela and talk any way that they want to, Bueller. They can't go to Venezuela and say, what is his name? Maduro. F that fat bitch. You think they can go there and say that, Bueller, and be seen the next day? Allegedly. But y'all can sit here and talk about this man, Joe Biden, Obama, or anybody else, and you gonna be all right. Say I'm lying. So you say he should go back so that they could deal with all that, right? Child, shout out to Uncle Rick. I appreciate you, boo. He said, white people with your fine. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you. You're so sweet. Shout out to all of y'all in here. Listen, if I'm wrong, let me know. This is just how I'm seeing it. These people are crazy. I feel like personally, okay, for those that have sense, because a lot of these people don't, as I have a very few conversations with the people that I am able to have conversations with about this type of stuff, they don't see anything. They don't know anything except for everything that Donald Trump has done and does is wrong. Everything. Everything is his fault. Everything is wrong. Nothing is positive. Nothing is good for anyone. It's all about him. It's all about oil. Like Joe Biden, when he pardoned Hunter and the rest of his family and anybody else for all these years, his son should be in jail serving his time with his crackhead. But they okay with that. But when it comes to Trump, then there's never any leeway there. Child. Anyway, come on.
That is the most righteous, just, and symbolic thing the United States could possibly do. This is the end result of Democrats committing to being the opposition party. You can only oppose common sense, humanity, rationality, and reason for so long before you inevitably offend and repulse every single demographic and voting bloc. But while we're in New York City, let's hear from newly elected socialist Mayor Zohran Mamdani about how he feels.
As well as other members of my team, I called the president and spoke with him directly to register my opposition to this act and to make clear that it was an opposition based on being opposed to a pursuit of regime change, to the violation of federal and international law, and a desire to see that be consistent each and every day.
And what was his response to you in that conversation?
I registered my opposition. I made it clear and we left it at that.
The socialist left has to ignore the tears of joy coming from the Venezuelan people because it's a direct attack.
Which is probably a lot of Venezuelans in New York since they're a melting pot for so many.
On their socialist ideology. Venezuelans celebrating the arrest of an oppressive socialist dictator whose policies destroyed the wealthiest country in South America weakens their case for why socialism would be so beautiful here. They must arrogantly dismiss the stories of the terrors of socialism because it forces them to confront the flaws in their own ideology. But let's go to Portland, home of Antifa, where they led a protest shouting, "Free, free Maduro." Can't make this up. Watch.
What is the first thing we see, and why do they all look alike? What is the first thing that we see, and why do they all look alike?
What kind of shit is that?
Liberal white women, always for the lost. Shout out to Christian Gerald. Thank you, hon. He said, nah, not white people. Don't do that to us, messy Mitch libs. I'm assuming that's what that says. Do not be offended. Everybody can get it around here. If y'all can't handle this, might not be the spot for you. But liberal white women, oh no, they gotta go. They are a problem no matter what. I stand by that. That's it. That's all. Look who's leading the charge.
Shouting, "Free, free Maduro." Can't make this up. Watch.
Any of y'all interested in wifing her up, Bueller? Any of y'all interested in wifing her up, Bueller? I'm just saying. She's available. That nice purple sweater. Anybody, Bueller? Whatever. Can they protest in Venezuela? I'm sorry to interrupt. I just have a question. Anybody know? Are they allowed to protest in Venezuela, especially if it's against Maduro? Bueller? Anybody? Can you let me know?
Hispanic voters are going to see this and be absolutely disgusted. And well-to-do matcha-sipping liberals are going to lecture them about why they're too stupid to understand it's a bad thing, so instead just take their word for it. And I'm totally here for it. Go ahead, please. Keep digging yourself into a deeper hole. Please die on the hill of explaining to Hispanics why they should be mad that the biggest destabilizer in Latin America was arrested because Donald Trump did it. But over in Little Somalia, aka Minneapolis, they held a protest saying, "Long live Hugo Chavez." You know, the socialist dictator who took Venezuela from the wealthiest country in Latin America to the poorest.
Chavez made sure that millions of kids who never had access to education would. He did.
Who's listening to a person? I mean, I think this is a man, but who would listen to a person looking like this, Bueller? Who's gonna listen to a person looking like this? Yeah, that's how superficial I am. You think I'm listening to this person? What is this? Is this an ABC deer? Child, they just out here doing any old thing. And Blade said now they are, so that means that before they weren't. Imagine going out there and saying, F Maduro, F that ninja, down with him, Trump, we need you. You think they showing back up tomorrow? Allegedly. You think they showing back up tomorrow? It looks like it's a toss-up on whether it's a liberal white woman or not, but liberal clearly.
So by sometimes using the Venezuelan army to seize the property of U.S. companies. He seized the oil and used that money for the Venezuelan oil, nationalized the oil to pay for social services. The quality of life for the poor in Venezuela skyrocketed. And today, the U.S. empire bombed his grave. They want to destroy the memory of the hero, Hugo Chavez. Viva Chavez!
Due to decades of Marxist indoctrination, the left thinks socialism is a utopian, altruistic, humane ideology and thus the foundation for their identity. They are compassionate and just people, and socialism represents prosperity for all, not just the wealthiest few. And even in the face of actual Venezuelans celebrating the end of that ideology, some white liberal guy in Minneapolis is screaming, "Long live the person who ruined their entire country." I promise you, Democrats, if you're watching this video, Hispanics are not going to forgive you for this. They may not love how Trump is handling deportations. They may find it harsh, but they don't find it unreasonable. They all understand immigration law as a concept, and they understand Donald Trump is just enforcing immigration laws. They might not like how he's going about it. They might not like the intensity of it, but you guys screaming "Long live Hugo Chavez" and "Free Nicolas Maduro" is something they don't understand at all. They think you are insane psychopaths. And
I'm going to agree. So I just ChatGPT'd Hugo Chavez, okay? So Hugo Chavez was a Venezuelan politician and military officer who served as president of Venezuela from 1999 until his death in 2013. He is one of the most influential and controversial figures in modern Latin American politics. He rose to power in 1992. Chavez led a failed military coup against Venezuela's government. Instead of disappearing, the coup made him famous. He ran for president and won the 1998 election, presenting himself as anti-elite and pro-poor. Oh, poors. Y'all should have moved down there when Hugo was down there in charge, child. His ideology is Chavismo. Chavez promoted 21st century socialism. Oh, well, that explains why they like him. Socialism, anti-U.S. imperialism, and Latin American nationalism. He rewrote Venezuela's constitution and concentrated power in the presidency. What he did as president, it says that he used oil money to fund social programs, healthcare, education, and housing. Oh, well, shit, this explains it. Reduced poverty, especially in the early 2000s, and gave political voice to poor and working class Venezuelans. Critics say he destroyed democratic institutions, silenced or pressured media and opposition, nationalized industries without sustainable planning, and set the stage for Venezuela's later economic collapse. Well, that would make sense. And that's what's going to happen in New Damn York, but you can't tell them nothing. Everybody wants something for the fucking free, right? So he died of cancer. His successor, his chosen successor, it says, Nicolas Maduro, took over. Many of Venezuela's current crisis traced back to policies started under Chavez and worsened under Maduro. Oh, no. He's still revered by supporters and blamed by critics. Modern debates about Maduro, socialism, sanctions, and U.S. intervention all start with Hugo Chavez. All right, I'll see if I'll get more from chat in a second. Let me go back to this guy. But that explains New York and what the hell they saying, because all they want is free shit and somebody to take care of them until those people start telling them what to do. Because when you take care of somebody, you don't get to do what the hell it is that you want to do. And I just don't understand how that's so hard to understand.
Rightfully think you are trying to import the policies and values of Nicolas Maduro to the United States.
Would you trade Trump for Maduro?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think Trump. I think Maduro was democratically elected. Probably, yeah, sure.
More than likely, yes, of course.
If there's a Nicolas Maduro out here who's going to bring us to revolution, I will support that movement.
I would rather have a bus driver in charge than a billionaire, okay? Let's put it.
Do you see these people, y'all? Do you see, who are these people? Where did these people come from? They look like they're all homeless or something. And people are listening to these people? They look like they belong in insane asylums.
Yeah, sure.
More than likely, yes, of course.
If there's a Nicolas Maduro out here who's going to bring us to revolution, I will support that movement.
I would rather have a bus driver in charge than a billionaire, okay? Let's put it that way.
Nicolas Maduro could come and be our president? Yeah. Oh, any day. Any day. Look, all the check marks are there. He's not white. Okay, he's a minority. Okay. He looks a little too much like Saddam Hussein, though.
They see that the left wants totalitarian government control, just like in Venezuela, and that you would rather see tens of millions of Venezuelans continue to suffer than...
Child, I'm definitely getting back to my moving out of these here United States, because, child, these people are crazy.
See Donald Trump save the day. Let's watch this clip from Chris Van Hollen, the senator who went to El Salvador to sip margaritas with Kilmar Abrego Garcia back in 2024, condemning Maduro for stealing the election. And then we'll look at his tweet from yesterday, and you guys tell me if you see a bit of a contradiction.
Well, we stand with the Venezuelan people who overwhelmingly, it turns out, voted for Gonzalez and against Maduro. This is why many of us call immediately for transparency, for the Maduro government regime to release the results. And there's a reason, Jose, that they hid those results, because we now know, because we've seen results that were released by some of the opposition figures from about 80% of the polling places, that Gonzalez has won comfortably here. And so this is clearly an effort to deny the will of the people. Maduro lost, right? He is trying to cling on to this claim of legitimacy that he won when all the evidence shows otherwise. So this is why Secretary Blinken did, in my view, the right thing, recognizing the real winner here, Gonzalez. And this is why the United States is now going to use its levers and influence to push for a negotiation, to have a transition to the truly elected leader Gonzalez. Now, obviously, we know Maduro and his cronies do not want to go quietly into the night, but the United States needs to work with our partners and allies in the region to ratchet up the pressure on behalf of the Venezuelan people.
So like I said,
so let me just get this straight before he continues on. That white man, because I don't know his name, was all for Maduro is wrong. He stole the election. Gonzalez won, which we learned yesterday. And this is not right. And we need to do something about it. And this is in 2024. So let's just go ahead and say it's Joe Biden. Everything was all good. Everything was, he's not good. He's not good. So I'm assuming it's going to be a fast forward to today. And now all of a sudden, this is not right. It's not fair. Oh my God, how dare Trump do this? You see what happens to be in common whenever everyone changes their mind? Just like when we saw Joy Reid talk about Joe Biden should allow his son to have his consequences. It doesn't matter. Oh my God. Donald Trump start running for president. Joe Biden pardons his own son and family. I don't blame him. I do the same thing. Child, please. These people can go straight to hell.
Said in the onset of this video, in 2024, every Democrat was calling for Nicolas Maduro to be removed from power. Nicolas Maduro was designated as a national security threat in 2015 under Barack Obama. But now that the problem's been solved in the most flawless way possible, this is the tweet we got from Chris Van Hollen. Trump and his cronies can try to dress this up, but it's an illegal act of war to replace Maduro and grab Venezuela's oil for his billionaire buddies. Let's read a bit from his full statement.
That's all people ever do and say. His billionaire buddies. It's like, why do y'all keep referring to that when that has nothing to do with anything? Can you refer to what at least is going on? You always got to toss out there that he's a billionaire. You know why? Because that roused poor people, fake poor people, and even some middle-class people to feel some kind of way because they don't have as much money as he does. And you know, those people always think that all these corporations, and I'm not saying the corporations are all good, but those are the MFers that employ y'all's asses so you can have some damn money. But you're always talking mad sugar, honey, iced tea. And when I say stop consumerizing so that they can start getting paid, y'all don't seem to want to hear that part. So it was all good under Joe Biden. He was a bad man then, but now that Trump has resolved and solved this problem, which we keep hearing that this is ongoing. This is not anything new. But because it's Donald Trump, yet again, it's wrong. He's going to be a fascist. He's going to take over. This is how Hitler started and all this other foolishness, because that's designed to scare somebody. Because my answer to that was, well, I guess ain't shit I can do about it, because you know who should be doing shit about it? Them damn politicians that are in office, because that's what the heck they're elected for. So what they going to do? They're going to tweet. That's what I said. And what did he just show? It looked like a freaking tweet. That's all they do. These politicians don't do shit. They all need to be run the fuck on up out of here. That's what I think. Because none of them are shit. None of them. Shout out to Chris in the building. I appreciate you, honey. He said, these people come from your university education system. Colleges teach capitalism is evil, indoctrination by professors. They are more willing to listen to people on the street that look like they live on the street. They stay on the street and they always been on the street, than to go ahead and at least chat GPT what the hell is going on to understand it and just listen to what people that are leftists and The View, which we're about to see. And I haven't seen it yet, but I'm sure it's going to be good. Yeah, we're going to watch The View.
Maduro is a dictator, but his regime did not pose the immediate threat necessary to warrant U.S. military action on foreign soil without congressional approval. This is not about demolishing a dictatorship, as we've seen Trump cozy up to dictators around the world. This is about trying to grab Venezuela's oil for Trump's billionaire buddies. Congress must not abdicate its constitutional authority and allow control of the world's most powerful military to fall into just one set of hands. In 2019, they were saying Donald Trump not removing Maduro from power was proof that he was cozying up to dictators. He was a puppet of Vladimir Putin. No amount of evidence or common sense can cure these people's Trump derangement syndrome. They are a bunch of moral grandstanding, ineffective weaklings who do absolutely nothing.
And they think that they're going to really win these midterms. I don't see it. They're going to get the people who believe all this. These are people that you can't even have conversations with, y'all. And I'm coming to the conclusion that there's very few people that I can really have conversations with about anything, because as soon as you start talking something that they don't like, they bring in some other bullshit and not listening to what it is that you're saying, because it's just, everything is Donald Trump's fault. I've had someone pull Donald Trump out of their ass from 2008. I'm like, what are we talking about right now? I can't talk to you. I can't talk to you because you're making no sense whatsoever.
This is amazing.
Shout out to the Tip Network. I was just watching one of your videos, which I have queued up. Fair use, fair use. If we have time, I'm definitely going over it. He said, thank you so much for your support, boo. He said, keep cooking, ma'am. You're right that they are all crooked, left, right, front, back, side to side, right? They all need to get the out of here, honestly. Thank you so much, hon. Thank you so much for your support. Shout out to all of y'all. Please make sure you hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you are new.
Virtue signaling about all the things they stand against and condemn and doing nothing to fix it. And last but not least, we got a wine-drunk tweet from Kamala Harris. Donald Trump's actions in Venezuela do not make America safer, stronger, or more affordable. Well, coincidentally, Donald Trump's actions in Venezuela did indeed make America safer, stronger, and more affordable. But I digress. That Maduro is a brutal, illegitimate dictator does not change the fact that this action was both unlawful and unwise. We've seen this movie before. Wars for regime change or oil that are sold as strength but turn into chaos, and American families pay the price. The American people do not want this, and they are tired of being lied to. This is not about drugs or or democracy. It is about oil and Donald Trump's desire to play the regional strongman. If he cared about either, he wouldn't pardon a convicted drug trafficker or sideline Venezuela's legitimate opposition while pursuing deals with Maduro's cronies. The president is putting troops at risk, spending billions, destabilizing a region, and offering no legal authority, no exit plan, and no benefit at home. America needs leadership whose priorities are lowering costs for working families, enforcing the rule of law, strengthening allies, and most importantly, putting the American people first. Does this woman not remember what her and Joe Biden did during the last 4 years? They are just empty suit robots that regurgitate whatever focused group talking point or narrative they think resonates the most at the moment. Like we went over this before in Iran. The president doesn't need congressional approval to launch a military strike. He has to notify the Congress within 48 hours after the attack, which he did. He held a press conference, and he has done nothing differently than what Joe Biden has done, Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, but they're just playing partisan politics. But this time they're unforgivably insulting and offending one of their most important voting blocks, the entire Hispanic vote, and they are going to pay the price for that. But let me know.
They just might. I agree with him. Damn, that went fast. Shout out to this young man, Brandon Lehman. Subscribe. Shout out to him. Thank you for another 5. Tip says you never have to ask to use our stuff. It's all family. Same. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Child. Cam came out there talking about, yeah, he's bad, but Donald Trump is wrong. Oh my goodness gracious. I can't with these people, y'all. I just cannot with these people. I'm gonna save the TikToks till later. Let's go over here to BCP. So he made a video saying Venezuelan VP, the lady, what was her name? I forget her name. Immediately folds to Trump after he issues another brutal warning. Now listen, I tried to cut for the Gonzalez, is that her name? Say maybe she could do it, y'all. You never know, maybe she could do it. Y'all was being MSG over here in this chat. Trump was being MSG, and a lot of these other people, they was like, a woman can't do it. A woman can't handle it, child. I guess she said, no, I can't handle it, child. Let's hear it.
One of the things that is happening, I think you see it all the time. Howard, you've seen it. That Cuba is ready to fall. Yes. Cuba looks like it's ready to fall. I don't know how they can hold out. But Cuba now has no income. They got all of their income from Venezuela, from the Venezuelan oil. They're not getting any of it. And Cuba literally is ready to fall. And you have a lot of...
Meanwhile.
¡Abajo el imperialismo! ¡Abajo el imperialismo! ¡Abajo el imperialismo genocida, inmoral y fascista! Este acto de terrorismo de Estado que acaba de ocurrir en Venezuela es un atropello escandaloso a las normas del derecho internacional. La agresión militar a una nación de paz que en nada amenaza a Estados Unidos y el secuestro de un presidente legítimo electo soberanamente por su pueblo. No puede haber silencio ni aceptación de ese acto de terrorismo de Estado.
Wait. So we got to continue our coverage of the aftermath following President Trump deciding to arrest and capture Nicolas Maduro, the socialist dictator of Venezuela. Okay, and leftists have been boo-hoo-whining, crying, protesting in the street, demanding that they free a dictator, authoritarian, somebody who literally stole an election, while Venezuelans, true patriots, have been celebrating, right? It really shows you the difference between people who actually care about freedom and democracy and those who pretend to care about freedom and democracy, right? But they only care about authoritarianism, right? They're totally fine with authoritarianism and dictatorship as long as it is a socialist or a communist, somebody that they agree with. All of a sudden, all that, we're pro-democracy stuff, right, goes out the window, okay? So leftists are very upset, not just the internet leftists, but the leftist presidents, particularly in Latin America, they are very, very, very upset because they understand what that means, right? It means that it is likely that they're up next, okay? Like, for example, Gustavo Petro, they
better be careful. They go up there and take them out in the middle of the night.
President, the lunatic, unhinged, radical president of Colombia, he is still basically daring the administration to come after him, right? He's daring Trump to come after him, despite the fact that the president has warned him time and time again that, listen, if you keep popping off at the mouth, you're going to find out just like Maduro.
And that's Venezuela is very sick. Colombia is very sick too, run by a sick man who likes making cocaine and selling it to the United States. And he's not going to be doing it very long.
What does that mean? He's not going to be doing it very long.
He's not doing it very long. He has cocaine mills and cocaine factories. He's not going to be doing it very long.
So there will be an operation by the U.S.
It sounds good to me. Yeah. You know why? Because they kill a lot of people.
Y entonces le tengo que decir al señor Marco Rubio, hermano, si me va a meter preso a ver si puede. Si me quiere poner la pijama naranja, inténtelo. Pero este pueblo no se le arrodilla. Sus odios del pasado, que no los conozco, ni ningún colombiano es culpable de lo que le pasó a su abuelo o a su papá.
Me amenace, aquí lo espero si quiere. No acepto invasiones, no acepto misiles, no acepto asesinatos.
If you can't see it, it says, I do not accept invasions, I do not accept missiles, I do not accept assassinations.
Acepto inteligencia. Vengan aquí a hablar con inteligencia y lo recibimos y hablamos de tú a tú y con cifras reales, no con mentiras. Deje de engañarse de las mafias políticas colombianas, porque nos condenaron a 700,000 muertos, a ser el país más desigual del mundo.
Yeah, so I'm not sure exactly what's going through the head of this lunatic, right? I don't know what he's thinking, right? But I'm not sure if he realizes that he's not going to be president of Colombia for long, literally because he can't be, because he's termed out. So when he's not president, it's going to be not as controversial to do him the same way we did Maduro, except he won't actually be in power, right? So nobody will really care, okay? We drop some bounties, right, on him, okay, and then conduct some special operations in order to throw him in jail for his role in narco-terrorism and smuggling drugs into the United States of America, okay, via the cartels in Colombia, right? So I'm just saying, this guy, man, I'm not entirely sure what his end game is. He probably does not believe that fire burns, but the people that actually matter, right, in this situation, the Venezuelans, the ones that are currently running the government, apparently they do believe that fire burns because initially, after Nicolas Maduro was captured and taken to the United States, the vice president who took over for him, she basically came out begging Trump and demanding him to return Nicolas Maduro, trying to talk tough, despite the fact that the president had indicated that behind closed doors, she wasn't really talking that tough.
To, in his words, make Venezuela great again, and that she was doing what he wanted. Here he is.
Who's going to take over? I mean, there is nobody to take over. You have a vice president who's been appointed by Maduro, and right now she's the vice president, and she's, I guess, the president. She was sworn in as president just a little while ago. She had a long conversation with Marco, and she said, we'll do whatever you need. I think she was quite gracious, but she really doesn't have a choice.
Okay, well,
it's just misogynist, Donald Trump. That is misogynist. She doesn't have a choice. That is rude.
Do whatever you need. He says, she said to Marco Rubio, and that she really doesn't have a choice. And she just said, this is a kidnapping and send him back and essentially thumbing her nose at Trump. All right, Kevin Liptak joins us live from West Palm Beach, Florida. So the timeline, Kevin, is that Trump said what I just played. And then within 2 hours, we got the statement from Vice President Delcy Rodriguez of Venezuela, which I just played. So now we're awaiting Trump's response to that. What does this actually mean? You are there in Mar-a-Lago with the president. What's the response from him?
Yeah, and I don't think it will be a favorable response from the president. He did sound fairly confident that Rodriguez would be going along with this plan. After that press conference, he gave a phone call to the New York Post, and actually Rodriguez came up in that conversation. He was asked if U.S. troops would be on the ground in Venezuela running that country, and what he said was, quote, no, if Maduro's vice president, if the vice president does what we want, we won't have to do that. And then he goes on to say, we're prepared. We have a second wave that's much bigger than the first one. And so I do think, now that Rodriguez is coming out and suggesting that she is not, in fact, on board with what the United States is doing down there, the president does seem to be setting up the prospect that the U.S. could go in with a second round of strikes. He alluded to that in his press conference. He said that perhaps he didn't think it would be necessary, but saying pretty explicitly that he was ready to order that if the remnants of the Venezuelan regime didn't necessarily, accede to the U.S. Running the country, which is what he said they would be doing. I think all of this just underscores how little we know about what exactly the U.S. role is going to be in Venezuela going forward.
Yeah, so you see that, you heard that. That is CNN buying into what clearly is propaganda from the remnants of the Venezuelan government, right? A woman who is trying to act tough and trying to save face in the immediate aftermath of their dear leader being captured and taken to the United States of America against his will. Because the reality is that ultimately, what else are they going to do in the aftermath of something like that? But what I actually really care about is what she's saying behind closed doors. Okay, what is she actually going to do, right? What are her actions rather than what she's saying in order to pander to her base of socialist supporters and CNN and BS now, which is what Marco Rubio indicated in an interview that he did yesterday discussing this. He said, yeah, we care about actions rather than words.
See all of that happen. We insist on seeing that happen. And we are going to work to continue to see that happen. Well, right now, we are going to see what happens moving forward. Let me just say that I'm not obviously going to have these conversations in the media. These are delicate and complicated things that require mature statesmanship, and that's what we intend to do. But our goals remain the same. The difference is that the person who was in charge, even though not legitimately, in the past was someone you could not work with. We just could not work with him. He is not a person that had ever kept any of the deals he made. Broke every deal he ever made a fool out of the Biden administration on the deal they made with him. And we offered him on multiple occasions an opportunity to remove himself from the scene in a positive way. He chose not to do so.
But his number two is now running the country. His number two is someone you can work with. And is that what you're implying here? And did she tell you that she will transition to democracy and the woman who won the election along with her partner there, Maria Corina Machado?
We are going to make our assessments of people. You're asking me to make an assessment. We're going to make an assessment on the basis of what they do, not what they say publicly in the interim, not what what they've done in the past in many cases, but what they do moving forward. So we're going to find out. You're asking me, do I know what decisions people are going to make? I don't. I do know this: that if they don't make the right decisions, the United States will retain multiple levers of leverage to ensure that our interests are protected, and that includes the oil quarantine that's in place, among other things. Well, but we are going to judge moving forward. We're going to judge everything by what they do. And we're going to see what they do.
Yeah, so we're going to see what they do. Right? We're going to see what they do. And it's not really hard to predict what they're going to do because
somebody was just saying like yesterday, I saw them write something, I don't know where it was, like, oh, they don't even have everything together over there. I was like, in a day? Y'all not even thinking far enough to allow them the opportunity to get anything done. So what was they supposed to start bringing in, like the food and and the medicine and everything, like as soon as they took the man out, I'm like, y'all really do say this shit out loud so that people can see you?
All you have to do is use common sense, right? If you use common sense,
No,
you would understand that,
don't.
hey, you know, the people running Venezuela, right? Some of whom, the leadership, they also have drug bounties on their heads, right? In the sense that the United States has said, hey, we have a warrant for your arrest, and we're willing to pay people to bring you to us, right? And you already saw how the United States can literally just capture anybody they want, right? At any time, any point in time, you're not immune to consequences, right? When you understand how psychologically terrifying that must be for the leadership of Venezuela, right? For whoever's currently in power, especially considering how, you know, they can just alternatively play ball and not have to worry about that. I think it becomes clear and obvious what they're actually going to do, okay? And we're going to get into that. But for whatever reason, you have certain individuals like Cenk Uygur here who apparently lacks common sense, right? And he's so Trump deranged that he does not understand that we have all the leverage over Venezuela, that this is not Iraq, this is not Afghanistan, this is not Libya, it's not that, okay? And the fact that these individuals continue to compare this to what we've done in the Middle East and to analyze the situation based off that, it really shows you that they're operating in outdated frameworks, and they just refuse to update their worldview to match the reality, right? To match the fact that we're in Latin America and Marco Rubio is running our foreign policy, and he's an expert. Nobody else is more qualified for this than Marco Rubio, okay? But Cenk says, we're either running Venezuela or we're not, and obviously we are not. We're not on the ground. We have no authority. We have no ability to give orders on the ground. Again, how naive is this? This guy really believes that we don't have the ability to run Venezuela, right? In the sense that we don't have the ability to tell whoever is running Venezuela to do what we want them to do. We don't have the ability to do that, right? Again, this stuff is laughable to me. They're not operating in reality. So Trump saying we're running Venezuela is dangerous bluster because it's a bluff waiting to get called. And if they call that bluff, which for the moment being it appears they are, then we either have to go and take control on the ground, potential disaster, or slink away after making such an audacious comment doesn't leave America in a good position either way. So again, the problem with this analysis here is that it is rooted in.
I don't even know what he's talking about, meaning what Cenk even said. Like he just, I don't know. Moving on from that. Let me acknowledge Chris. Thank you again for another 5. He said Trump giving women running for president losses all over the world. Mexico's female president run off at the mouth. Oh no. Child, these people, they don't know what to do with themselves. Everybody's got it. Everybody has got this TDS, y'all.
Donald Trump had warned Delcy Rodriguez that she would have to do exactly what the US wanted and has repeated that the US will run Venezuela in the short term, something that his Secretary of State has stepped back from slightly, focusing more on Venezuela's oil reserves. Well, let's cross now live to Fraser Jackson in Washington. Fraser, for Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez holding the first cabinet meeting. Trump had given her quite stark warnings. To what extent do you think the US is going to try to run Venezuela?
Wait, interim Venezuela president shifts tone after U.S. threats. Rodriguez invites Trump to collaborate. There's another one, child. Oh my goodness, that was quick.
Venezuela put pressure on the leaders there, or how much is it all about simple access to oil?
Yeah, well, there's a bit of a split narrative coming out of DC now. Donald Trump, of course, said that he was going to run Venezuela, but Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, spent the best part of Sunday trying to kind of tone down that narrative, trying to strike a somewhat more diplomatic tone. But Donald Trump continuing that narrative that the U.S. is in control of Venezuela.
Well, Trump is just telling it like it is. Marco Rubio's job as a traditional politician is to water it down, right? To water it down and not make it sound so controversial. But what I love about Trump is that he just says what it is, right? We're running the country and we're going to get access to the oil, right? We want the oil and we're running the country. That's effectively what they're doing, okay? And Trump, what I love about him, what I appreciate about him is that he doesn't lie. He's honest and he's straight up about what we're doing and our intentions, right? He's not saying that we're doing this for democracy. He's not saying we're doing this, because of freedom or all this other stuff. No, we're doing it for our own strategic interests, okay? Just be honest with me. Be honest with me. Give me the truth. That's all I care about. I don't want to be gaslit by these clowns telling me, oh, we're doing this for democracy and Western values. No, I don't want to hear that. That's a lie. We don't ever fight a war for democracy. We don't fight wars for democracy. We fight wars for resources, power, geopolitical, strategic interest, right? That is why we fight wars. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? That's why every war in history has been fought. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? That's all what people understand. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? You either conquer or you're being conquered.
As Secretary Rubio stated just yesterday, this is the Western Hemisphere. This is where we live. And we're not going to allow the Western Hemisphere to be used as a base of operation for our nation's adversaries and competitors and rivals of the United States. You can't turn Venezuela into the operating hub for Iran, for Hezbollah, for gangs, for Cuban intelligence agents, and other malign actors that control that country. You cannot continue to have the largest energy reserves in the world under the control of adversaries of the United States, under the control of illegitimate leaders, and not benefiting the people of Venezuela and stolen by a handful of oligarchs inside of Venezuela. But it doesn't stop there. Numerous UN and international human rights organizations have issued reports documenting.
So, the thing is about Trump is that he's just telling the truth. Effectively, we're going to be running the country.
But in reality, what he means is that the US is trying to influence the interim President Rodriguez to align with US interests and demands. Now, at first, Rodriguez was, of course, hostile in her tone to the US, calling the US operation a barbarity, accusing the US of an oil grab. But then Donald Trump publicly threatened her on Sunday morning, telling The Atlantic that if she doesn't do what's right, she's going to pay a very big price, bigger than what Maduro paid. So
then she straightened up, and she straightened right on up. She came out and said, we're willing to
definitely misogynistic. Oh no.
Cooperate now, right? We want to collaborate. This is the difference between an administration that just talks versus an administration that actually takes action. President Trump, because of what he did to Nicolas Maduro, basically any threat that he puts out there now, it's not just a threat anymore. It's almost like a promise, right? It's now, oh, okay, this dude is not just bluffing. He's not just blowing smoke. This is why I say people like Che, his analysis is just not grounded in reality. It's grounded in Trump arrangement. It's not grounded in what's actually happening, okay? This is how I know I'm pretty confident. I'm like, yeah, they're going to cooperate. They don't have the choice. They already can see the consequences of not cooperating. These people don't want to go to jail. They don't want worse than going to jail. They don't want that, right? This is a woman.
No. Well, y'all was right. Okay. The MSG tactics actually work, because she was talking mad share honey iced tea yesterday. And now all of a sudden we work together. We can collaborate. And she ain't even the real, well, she's the vice president, but not real, because if he wasn't real and he appointed her, which we learned, then she ain't really real at the end of the day. So yeah, she'd be waking up to one of them in her face. She said, nah, that's okay. We'll figure it out together. So shout out to Donald Trump. I know people are going to be all mad and in their feelings, whatever. There's always something more, right? I knew you would say something. I knew you would say something. Let me go on over here to The View. Sorry, y'all. It's just one segment. It says, Trump says U.S. is in charge of Venezuela. Just get your minds right already. You already know what to expect, yeah.
You remember when you know who kept campaigning on this promise?
We're getting out of the nation building business. We must abandon the failed policy of nation building and regime change. Our current strategy of nation building and regime change is a proven absolute failure.
So remember all of that. Well, now America and the world have a lot of questions after the U.S. captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife Celia, who are about to appear in a courtroom right here in New York. And the administration can't seem to get the story straight about their plans in and out of Venezuela. Take a look.
We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition.
Is the United States running Venezuela right now?
What we are running is the direction that this is going to move moving forward. And that is, we have leverage. This leverage we are using and we intend to use.
Don't ask me who's in charge, because I'll give you an answer and it'll be very controversial.
What does that mean?
We're in charge. Colombia is very sick too, run by a sick man.
So there will be an operation by the U.S.
It sounds good to me. We need Greenland from the standpoint of national security. Cuba looks like it's ready to fall. I don't know if they can hold that.
Are you considering U.S. action in Cuba?
I think it's just going to fall. I don't think we need any action. It looks like it's going down. It's going down for the count.
So while perhaps no one is going to miss a tyrant like Maduro, is this an illegal?
Perhaps no one is going to miss a tyrant not like Maduro. Let's not forget she just said that, right? But, let's go ahead and make sure we talk about Donald Trump.
Thing. I mean, who voted for this? Who said, hey, yeah, go on in there and do this? Because originally, wasn't it, he was concerned about the drugs coming in and out, and yet he pardoned like a giant kingpin. And so what is this all about?
I can speak to the legal part of it. I think Anna can certainly speak to the geopolitics of it all, but it's not legal to do this. It
tells people why not.
Well, it's not legal because it violates international law, right? And this sort of represents this new, I've never seen it before, the president of the United States to kill, I believe he killed over, the U.S. government killed over 100 people, including civilians and military, in Venezuela during this kidnapping and capture. And
I thought nobody got hurt. I thought no lives were lost. What's she talking about?
International law doesn't allow it unless unless Congress declares war, and Congress did not do that. So this country was founded on the premise of the balance of power, right? So you have checks and balances. So you have co-equal powers, co-equal branches of power. So you have the judicial branch, and then you have the executive branch, which the president is a part of, and then you have, of course, the legislative branch, and that's Congress. And they're supposed to check each other. This president is doing whatever the heck he wants without any checks or balances. And I have never in my lifetime seen this type of regime change, which is what we just saw, work out well for the United States. It just doesn't work. And in my view, this is completely
completely 100% illegal.
Well, so I do think, oh, go ahead.
Look, I don't think this is at all about the Venezuelan people. Donald Trump doesn't give a damn about the Venezuelan people. If he did, he wouldn't be taking away temporary protected status from 600,000. He wouldn't be arresting the Venezuelans that are seeking asylum here. He wouldn't be maligning the entire community and sending hundreds of Venezuelans to a hellhole prison in El Salvador.
Did he say he cared about Venezuelans like that, Bueller? Did he say that he cared about Venezuela? Here we go again with people worrying about whether people like them or not, which is what I'm hearing from this lady. I can't stand none of them. I can't stand none of them.
I don't think Donald Trump gives a damn about drugs. If he did, he would not have pardoned the former president of Honduras, who was serving 45 years in federal prison for having brought 400 tons of cocaine into the United States. I think this is a lot about Donald Trump's ego. I think he thought it was going to be easier to get rid of Maduro. I don't know that he thought it was going to take 4.5 months and 1/4 of the Navy arsenal and a cost of over $1 billion to do this. I don't think this is regime change because the regime is still there. He got rid of the head. He got rid of the titular head, which is Maduro, and it's the biggest trophy there is. But all of
president is still there.
And the vice president
is now president.
Well, I refuse to call her either. Because you see, Maduro, so the U.S. government under Biden and under Trump have said they don't recognize Maduro as the legitimate president of the United States because he stole the elections. And so if we don't recognize him as president, how in the hell can then we turn around and recognize his vice president as vice president and now interim president? And as to your question, I think
now they're getting all technical with the names, but you're sitting up here. You just said that they're not legitimate. She just said that they're not legitimate, but now it's like, oh, but you're working with the vice president that's there. She's going to do whatever he wants her to do. What are we talking about? So then that means nobody from here got to go down there because she's going to do exactly what he says from here. What is wrong with these people? They're exactly saying what the issue is with what was going on and then turning around saying, but Trump was wrong for what the hell it is that he did.
It's about the oil. Your question, who voted for this? The people in South Florida, the Venezuelan community, the Cuban American community, the Nicaraguan American community voted for this. And for us, this is a very, very happy day when we see a dictator who has been part of oppressing and abusing the Venezuelan people for 25 years. When we see him in handcuffs and held to some sort of accountability, it brought me into tears. It brought me great joy. And, you know,
Oh, did it? I can't tell, girl. Hold on. Because ain't she like Hispanic or something?
Nicaraguan American community voted for this. And for us, this is a very, very happy day when we see a dictator who has been part of oppressing.
A dictator who has been a part of oppressing.
And abusing the Venezuelan people for 25 years. When we see him in handcuffs and held to some sort of accountability, it brought me into tears. It brought me great joy. And
it brought me to tears. It brought me great joy that he was taken in shackles.
You know, I live in South Florida.
Are you okay with the way that it was done?
But you can, I think both things can be true. Okay. I think you can criticize and ask questions and have concerns about the way it was done and what this means in the future. Right. And I think you can still celebrate that this murderous, corrupt, sadistic son of a bitch is out of Venezuela. Because he has, I think there's 8 million Venezuelan exiles all over.
I feel like they're contradicting themselves.
The world. People have fled from this man's tyrannical rule. So for me, I am very disturbed by Donald Trump's words about the opposition leader who legitimately won the elections that Maduro stole. He said that her party, won the election. She said she, Maria Corina Machado, has no respect or support of the Venezuelan people. She won the elections against the dictator by 70% of the vote.
This is important. I think that's very well said.
Well, be mad at Maduro. Why are you mad at Donald Trump? Maybe they need to have another whole ass election. I don't know how long ago that happened, but they're just going to find anything. I just feel like you should be mad at him, Maduro, for doing that, right? He did that. 1 second, I'm so happy. I don't want to cry. This is so wonderful. But you won't give that man credit. You notice she said all that, but she won't give that man credit for doing it. She won't give that man credit for nothing. And now all of a sudden saying that it's his fault that other lady that the election got taken away from, that he's treating her bad. Can you give him any credit at all? Anything? You're over here about to cry. You do realize it's because of what he did, but then you want to turn around and criticize how he did it. Child, these people crazy.
Two things can be true at once. I am celebrating that Nicolas Maduro is out of power. This is a man who has starved, impoverished, jailed his opponents. He is a bad man and a dictator. But
he's a bad man and a dictator, impoverished and starved and done all this. But
I have two key things that stand out to me. The lack of congressional authority is incredibly important. There's a long history in this country, to be clear, Libya, Iraq, Afghanistan, where we've had very fragile congressional authority to go in. But what I care about is what happens tomorrow, because I saw the news and like Anna, I was celebrating. I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't know if I would see the day that Maduro's out of power. But the obvious solution here would be the opposition leader, Machado, who has 70% approval and got 70% of the vote.
And won a Nobel Prize, correct?
Actually, the stand-in candidate who was in for her actually got 70% of the vote, won a Nobel Peace Prize. This is the person who should stand elections, and the U.S.'s only role should be facilitating to make sure that they're free and that they're fair and that there's not intimidation for people, the Venezuelans trying to cast their votes. What scared me is it seems like there's this rallying behind the vice president, Rodriguez, who, as far as I'm concerned, is as bad as Maduro. Having her in power.
The vice president is as bad as Maduro. We're hearing what the words that they're saying, but it's all Donald Trump's fault. It is all his fault that the other lady got election stolen. The lady that's in there now said that she would do whatever Donald Trump wants, as she was trying
This is amazing.
as she was originally trying to tell somebody else what they was going to do. And she ain't no better than Maduro. Maduro is a son of a bitch. We'll just leave it at that. However, we're so happy. However,
power would be a continuation of the same regime. So the U.S., again, diplomacy now. Let the Venezuelan people vote for a free, safe, and fair Venezuela.
Has it been a week, y'all? Because honestly, that's actually what makes sense, because I don't know how long ago all this mess happened. But that's what would make sense is to have another damn election, right? And then you can vote for whoever the hell you want, and then people can run for whatever the hell it is that they want to. It's been 5 damn minutes. What do these people expect? Child, shout out to King Hora. Shout out to King Hora. I appreciate you, hon. Very generous of you. I love your show. Thank you so much. Shout out to you for being here. Shout out to all of y'all. Please make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe if you are new, because these bitches drive me nuts.
Venezuela, have democratic elections and move on.
Can I ask you this, though? Because the thing that's interesting to me is Venezuela, I don't think a lot of people know, owns 20% of the world's oil, more than Saudi Arabia. And Trump, for months, we've been saying at this table, this is about the oil. But for months, Trump was saying, this is about narco-terrorism. This is about drugs being brought to this country. When you look at the indictment, it's about drugs being brought to this country. And so isn't anyone concerned about the fact that what we're doing is almost piracy? It's like imperialism. We're going to another country and we're taking their natural resources for ourselves. And on top of it, if we can do something like this, who's to say that Vladimir Putin then doesn't go to Ukraine and arrest Zelensky? Who's to say that...
Well, maybe the other could happen, because we're talking about the democratic nations of Ukraine versus...
But who's to say China won't...
Child, she got a Milli Vanilli outfit on there. Girl, this is 2026.
Maybe Trump should vote for Putin, if we're being honest. The dictators are the problem, but I think...
But would you be okay with that?
What I'm saying is...
I would be okay with taking out Putin.
I would be okay with taking out Putin, absolutely. But right now, I think the problem is, why leave...
Oh, they would be okay. Did you hear that? They would be okay with taking out Putin, right? Another thing that Americans can do is say some shit like that. So can they say that in Venezuela about Maduro or even the other lady? Or can they go say that over there in Russia in front of Putin's face? All this freedom that nobody appreciates. I'm telling you, child.
Part of the regime in control, because you're leaving his vice president and all the people that were an extension of his dictatorship, the people that punished and led with the corruption and all the other problems he did. And you're saying we're in control, but we kind of left them in charge. And there are also already warrants out for some of them. So you're leaving part of them there, but you're saying we're in control. What could happen here is every time we leave a country, there's a power vacuum.
Yeah, I know people that today are still political prisoners in Venezuela. And so my question is, if the U.S. is running the Venezuelan government, if the U.S. is running the policy, if they are telling Maduro's minions what to do, why in the hell are there still political prisoners being held in Venezuela today?
Because can I add real quick?
It's been 2 days. It's been 2 days. No. Did this happen on Christmas? It happened on Christmas. It happened on Christmas. It hasn't even been a week. It happened on Christmas. It hasn't even been a week.
The Venezuelan people are very, very confident holding elections even under unsafe environments. I met Juan Guaido, the former opposition leader. They turned out in droves, tens of millions of people to support him, despite the fact they could have been jailed, they could have been in prison. They know how to show up for their rights. They have wanted this for decades. So just hold an election. They know what to do.
Yes, well, that's all well and good. But what happens the next time?
Right. If Vladimir Putin wants to then go into and take and imprison Zelensky, is that
he's trying to assassinate him.
What do you mean by next? What do you mean by next? Is it okay for us to do that kind of thing?
Well, my concern is, if it's good for us to do,
correct,
who else are we going to do it to?
Yeah.
How many times?
Are we going to allow this?
And listen, there are a lot of bad people, but I also watched this man release really horrible people back into life. I watched him release people who had people.
The thing is about her being outraged and these bitches being outraged is that these are the same people that fight for criminals not to get prosecuted, so they got to live amongst us. So I don't give a shit what they have to say. This is the same people that support people that don't think that actual criminals should be tried and go to jail. These are the people that don't believe that they should have high bails, that they shouldn't sit in jail, that everything is racist and it's not fair. These are who these people believe. So we got to live among those people, but now they all care about everybody else around the world. So if people start doing that, whatever, that they're trying to say, if people start doing stuff, it'll be Donald Trump's fault, not their own responsibility and their own decisions. They're just being led by Donald Trump. Like, I don't even understand how they can say this and how people follow them. But then again, if people listen to Jamal Bryant and follow him and still clap it up for him, then I understand how this happens. Fuck these bitches. Moving on, child. Moving on. Let me go to Timmy. Let's move on to Timmy. Timmy had a press conference today. He's not going to be running for re-election. This is from his press conference from earlier. It says Governor Walz ending his re-election bid amid state fraud crisis. Says no sadness or regrets. Oh no. How this happen? If you right and you ain't do nothing wrong, why you going, Timmy? Timmy, where you going, boo? Shout out to my fave. He said, but if and did it, they lick his drawers clean. You already know. They're the ones that, like I said earlier about Joy Reid saying that Joe Biden would never, he would make sure that his son pays the consequences of his actions. What does he do? Give him immunity like 10 years or 20 years back.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
Pick your damn list.
Hey everyone, and Happy New Year. Like many Minnesotans, I have to tell you, I was glad to turn the page on 2025. It was an extraordinarily difficult year for our state, and it ended on a particularly sour note. For the last several years, an organized group of criminals have sought to take advantage of this state's generosity. And even as we make progress in the fight against the fraudsters, we now see an organized group of political actors seeking to take advantage of a crisis. I don't want to mince words here. Donald Trump and his allies in Washington and in St. Paul and online want to make our state a colder, meaner place. They want to poison our people against each other by attacking our neighbors. And ultimately, they want to take away much of what makes Minnesota the best place in the country to raise a family. They've already begun trying to withhold funds that were meant to help families afford childcare, and they have no intention of stopping there. Make no mistake, we should be concerned about fraud in our state government. We cannot effectively deliver programs and services if we can't earn the public's trust. That's why over the past few years, we've made systemic changes in the way we do business. We've gone to the legislature time and time again to get more tools to combat fraud. We fired people who weren't doing their jobs. We've seen people go to jail for stealing from our state. We cut off whole streams of funding in partnership with the federal government, where we saw widespread criminal activity. We put new locks on the doors of our remaining programs, and we've hired a new head of program integrity to make sure that those locks can't be broken. All across this state, Minnesotans are hard at work on this problem. Advocates, administrators, investigators are on the front lines defending the integrity of our state's programs, and I want to give a very heartfelt thank you to all of them. There is more to do. A single taxpayer dollar wasted on fraud should be intolerable. And while there's a role to play for everyone, from the legislature to prosecutors to insurance companies to local and county government, the buck does stop with me. My administration has been taking fast, decisive action to solve this crisis. We'll win the fight against the fraudsters. But the political...
No, I didn't see that. Send it to me if you didn't, please.
...gamesmanship we're seeing from Republicans is only making that fight harder. We've got Republicans here in the state legislature playing hide and seek with potential whistleblowers. We've got conspiracy theorist right-wing YouTubers.
So it sounds like Timmy is blaming Republicans and conservatives and MAGA, of course, for why it is that he is, not resigning, not being, seeking re-election. You should be out here fighting, Timmy. If you ain't doing nothing wrong and they all liars and they're all wrong and you're right and you're not doing anything wrong and you're taking care of everything and you're handling everything, you should stay in the fight. You should stay in, Timmy. I wouldn't leave. Man up, Tim. Timmy, you needed to man up.
Breaking into our daycares, demanding access to our children. We've got the President of the United States demonizing our Somali neighbors and wrong.
Has he said anything about him at all? His state, Ilyan, the mayor, or anyone else? This is all a Trump speech. Like, can I have a dime every time somebody says Trump's damn name? I will be rich. I will be Bugatti or Rolls Royce rich by the time this term is over and going far beyond that. That's all these people have. I don't understand why people don't see this, though. That's it. This is you this is you saying that you're not going to seek re-election and all you're doing is giving excuses. That's it. And saying Trump, 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 Trump. He sounds crazy.
Wrongfully confiscating funds that Minnesotans rely on. It's disgusting and it's dangerous. Republicans are playing politics with the future of the state. It's shameful. And I've said it before, and I will continue to say it. We welcome ideas from anyone, in any party, from any walk of life, who wants to help us continue to stay ahead of these criminals. And we welcome the involvement of the federal government.
So you can't stay ahead of the criminals is what you're saying. That's kind of an admission right there. Where's the apology? Where is the I'm sorry that I have to do this? Maybe I didn't do as well as I should have. I don't understand how rampant it got. Oh yeah, allegedly you might not want to incriminate yourself. So just do the next best thing, child. Just keep saying Trump.
I am grateful to the career professionals at the U.S. Attorney's Office and the FBI who have been helping us fight this fight for years. But I cannot abide the actions of the political leadership in Washington.
Oh my God.
These opportunists are willing to hurt our people to score cheap points. They and their allies have no intention of helping us solve this problem and every intention of trying to profit off of it. Which brings me to this.
So the governor of the state bears no responsibility for what goes on in the state that he is running. It miraculously ends up being Donald Trump's fault, even though when this shit started and got bad, he wasn't even nowhere to be found. And is it his responsibility, meaning Donald Trump, to take care of your damn state? That's your responsibility, sir. I am so sick of people not taking accountability for their responsibilities. If anybody ever puts him in charge of anything, they deserve what the hell it is that they get. The best thing that ever happened is that fucking Kim did not get elected president.
2026 is an election year. Election years have a way of ramping up the politics at a time when we simply can't afford more of that in Minnesota. In September, I announced that I would seek a historic third term as Minnesota's governor. And I have every confidence that if I gave it my all, we would win the race. But as I reflect on this moment with my family and my team over the holidays, I came to the conclusion that I can't give a political campaign my all. Every minute that I spend defending my own political interest would be a minute I can't spend defending the people of Minnesota against the criminals who prey on our generosity and the cynics who want to prey on our differences. So I've decided to step out of this race, and I'll let others worry about the election while I focus on the work that's in front of me for the next year. I'm passing on this race with zero sadness and zero regret. I did not run for this job to have the job. I ran for the job to do the job. Minnesota faces enormous challenges this year, and I refuse to spend a single minute doing anything other than rising to meet this moment. Minnesota has always come first and always will. That's what I believe servant leadership.
Clearly, Minnesota doesn't come first, or you would stay here because you care for it so much, Timmy. Sorry, he is taking responsibility. Do we need to bust out dictionary.com? Because you must not know what responsibility means. All I hear is blame, 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 blame for the person who's in charge of the damn state. That's it. And somebody, I think Queen just said, and he blaming a freaking YouTuber. Child.
Leadership demands of me. As an optimist, I'll hold out some hope that my friends on the other side of the aisle will consider what servant leadership demands of them in the moment. We can work together to combat against the criminals. We can work together to rebuild the public's trust and make our state stronger. But make no mistake about it. If Republicans continue down the path of abusing power, smearing entire communities.
Hold on. Did you hear what he just said? Hold on.
Criminals, we can work together to rebuild the public's trust and make our state stronger. But make no mistake about it. If Republicans continue down the path of abusing power.
If the Republicans continue on a path of abusing power. If Republicans continue on a state of abusing power. Wow. Democrats are just angels that don't do nothing wrong. They are perfect. They are wonderful. It's only Republicans that are the problem, cha. It's only the Republicans and the conservatives that are a problem, cha. The whoopies, I mean, I know she's not a politician, the View and the CNNs and the MSNBC, they do everything right. It's always the Foxes and the Republicans. They the problem, y'all. This is your whole ass Democratic state. What is DFL anyway? It's your whole Democratic state. But it's Republicans' fault. Y'all. Woo! Gotta get out of here, y'all. Gotta get out of here.
Smearing entire communities and running their own fraudulent game at the expense of Minnesotans, I will fight back with everything that I have. I am absolutely confident a Democratic and a DFLer will hold this seat come November. I'm confident that I'll find ways to contribute to the state that I love long after next January. But there'll be time to worry about all that later. Today, I'm proud of the work we've done to make Minnesota America's best place to live and raise kids. From our new paid leave policy to our child tax credit to our school lunch programs feeding every single child. And I'm doubly proud of the incredible team we put together to make this vision a reality. I want to take a moment to thank every member of my staff, to every single state employee who has been part of this fight. Now more than ever, I need you on the job. I need you to help work together to tackle the important work in front of us. And most of all, I want Minnesotans to know how grateful I am for the opportunity to serve this state, for the privilege that I have been given to serve in this office. I'm on the job. I'm focused on making sure that we stay America's best place to live and raise kids. No one will take that away from us. I'm proud of the way we treat our neighbors. I'm proud of the way that we welcome people to this state. I'm proud of the way that we innovate. And I'm proud of the way that we are optimists for the future. No one's taking this away from us. Not the fraudsters. Certainly not this president. Not on my watch. Tomorrow, I'll be back with you. I'll give you an update on America's best paid family medical leave program that is now a week into it. And at that time, I'll take all your questions. Thank you.
Best family paid leave program. Sounds like more handouts to me.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
And you heard from Governor Tim Walz there, making it official that he will not seek re-election. You heard the governor essentially reading his statement that was released earlier this morning, talking about how he simply can't focus on a re-election campaign with the magnitude of work that needs to be done. Keep in mind, he is in office in that position for another year, and so seemed to communicate that he wants to focus on the job. Certainly a lot going on right now. We know around...
Sound like a bunch of excuses to me. It's always somebody else's fault. Well, let's take a look at good old Minnesota, child. I got another video from Brandon. I've been trying to show you this one for a couple of days, y'all. Hold on, StreamYard, and because this is about the mayor. Because no one talks about the mayor, and Ilion has been MIA. I feel like I haven't heard from her in weeks at this point. Okay. This is titled "The Mayor of Minneapolis Surrenders the City." Oh no. Oh no. I feel like I never hear about the mayor. Well, we're going to see in a second.
The mayor of Minneapolis participated in a public humiliation ritual to prove his obedience and subservience to the Somali community. He wore a "I Love Somalia" t-shirt, waved a Somalia flag, and spoke Somali, because that's what's required to be an elected official in Minnesota. You guys are not going to believe your eyes, but it gets worse. It's also been exposed that Somalia's foreign minister and their ambassador to the United Nations both own fraudulent daycare centers in America. I'm not.
Wow. The question is, who don't own a fraudulent daycare at this point, child? Well, I appreciate you, honey. Said from wanting to be second in command of the strongest nation to folding at re-election to his local state. Yes, he indeed was fraud. Allegedly. Yes, allegedly. I don't disagree with you. Shout out to all of y'all. Hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you are new.
Not kidding. As always, like the video and subscribe to the channel. But let's start with the mayor of Minneapolis tap dancing like a monkey for his Somali masters.
He's just being inclusive, y'all. He's just being inclusive.
Somalia anulato! Somalia anulato! Somalia anulato! Somalia igaya! Somalia igaya! Somalia igaya! Somalia igaya! Amagaigawa, Jacob Frey, Yarub! Dokamagala down Minneapolis! Mufiatai!
That doesn't look like assimilation to me. That looks like treason. We are now at the point in the left's diversity project where if you want to remain...
Basically, that's exactly what that is. Good old DEI at work. We'll assimilate to you, even though this is our country, instead of you assimilating to us. Makes sense to me, child.
politically viable in Minnesota, you must be willing to publicly kiss the feet of the Somali community and vow to enable and ignore all of their fraudulent behavior. It is not unreasonable nor racist to say you should 100% be excluded from the political process if you can't at bare minimum speak the language. American immigration philosophy used to be, if you wanted to come here and adopt our culture, assimilate into our way of life, we would welcome you. That's what the melting pot used to mean. But the modern liberal interpretation is America doesn't have a culture at all. And what our culture is really about is accepting other cultures from around the world and celebrating the establishment of unassimilated enclaves all across America. And now we're seeing the end result of that destructive ideology. Tribal politics where foreign nationals who have no allegiance to our country can determine the outcome of elections, tearing America apart and fighting to get what they can for the sole benefit of their own people. But if that wasn't insulting enough, here's the same mayor explaining why he loves the Somali community so much. Because they're just better than us Americans.
Assalamu alaikum. Galabwanaksa. Magaigawa Jacob Fry. Boka Magalada, Minneapolis. Ramadan Mubarak to our entire Somali community. Wishing you a sense of peace and justice, not just here in Minneapolis, but throughout the world and in Somalia as well. May you have peace in your life.
Throughout the world and in Somalia as well. Child, he sounds crazy. He sounds crazy. What exactly? Hold on, I missed. What the fuck exactly?
And I will be with you every step of the way. I wanted to take a minute to talk to you directly prior to this November's election and with a whole last year of great difficulty and challenge. And I wanted to talk to you about the beginning stages of my relationship with the Somali community because it came even before I was in office. It arrived before I was even a politician. When I came to Minneapolis, I knew almost no one, very little family or friends. The first community that embraced me, the first group of people that I was able to befriend and associate with was largely our Somali community.
Of course.
You all showed me warmth. You were there for me. You were my friend.
Child, where was the white people? Child, don't even try to act like white people wasn't there to help you be white. Stop this, Jacob Fry, child, whatever his name is. He sound crazy.
That was before I even became a city council member. And then I was elected to the city council in Ward 3, and I developed a fast friendship and relationship with then council member Abdi Warsami. He brought me further into the community, explained to me the culture and the heritage, the traditions, the food and the dance. And I gained an even new form of love for the tremendous culture, the work ethic, the entrepreneurship, and everything that the Somali community offers.
Ah, yes, the Somalis who are famous for their ingenuity and entrepreneurship and their rich, vibrant culture of piracy, corruption, violence, and inbreeding. I'm sick of the gaslighting by liberal politicians who demand that we celebrate cultures who are still stuck in the discovering fire stage of civilization. We're called racist and intolerant if we don't embrace a culture that created the most destabilized country on planet Earth.
They call me whatever they want to. I don't give a damn. I'm not like Timmy. Timmy is a punk ass bitch, okay? So he couldn't handle it, right? But the problem with the way that these liberals are, and clearly we have plenty in the chat today, is that just because you think what you think don't make you right. I don't know why y'all think that your opinions and what you think is the most important and is the only way. See, you all are the ones that don't understand working with someone else. Y'all are the ones that think that everyone gets to win, and that's just not how life works. That's why these huge United States got so many problems, because y'all want to have everyone be equal. We're not all equal. That's why, shout out to the poors. Y'all know y'all not equal. You're poor. I'm not poor. So we're not equal. That's just common sense. We're equal by way of rights. Abso-fucking-lutely. But on a scale of where you are, where the fake poors are, where the middle class is, and where the ultra rich are, we're not all the same. And guess what? I don't pocket watch those motherfuckers because I don't give a damn. Because I take care of me. And I don't want the government to take care of me. Y'all, poors, equal people who think everyone should have the same shit. That's not what I want. No, that's not what I want. Because I don't want to depend on the government for anything. Y'all hate the government and then turn around and want to depend on them. That's crazy. That don't make sense. You should do it for yourself, but you want someone to give it to you because you're like kids. Remember in kindergarten, y'all, when we used to sit at those tables that were like crazy shaped and we sat in our seats? And if you saw somebody with a blue crayon and you wanted the blue crayon, you would cry and then somebody would give you the blue crayon. Guess what? If my pack of crayons has blue and yours doesn't, that's a you problem. Talk to your mama. Don't come to me because my mama gave me all 8 colors in the pack. You lost yours or it broke. Talk to your mama. So you lost because you effed that up. Y'all think that somebody's supposed to give you more crayons. Yes, your mom, by way of basically you do it, but you want someone else to do it. You think that the school should give it to you. You're going to have to wait. You can't have whatever you want whenever you want it. That's the lessons that y'all need to understand and learn. So just because these people came over here, not Brandon, just because these people came over here, y'all are willing to ignore what the heck it is that they've been doing, allegedly. They can't even, if they were legitimate, as a person who's had the kids in Delaware, they should have been able to produce the documentation that the government is looking for. And they haven't yet, but I guess that's Donald Trump's fault too. It's not that hard when you run a business. Let me go ahead and raise my hand for that too. As a person who runs a business and I've been audited before, they ain't gonna say, I can't say, child, the dog ate my homework or somebody broke into my filing cabinet and took it. I'll be fined and going to jail. No, I gotta produce that shit. I got to produce that shit and give them the proof of my damn business. Why is it that these motherfuckers can't do this? They've been in business forever. They've been in business forever and then come up with this stupid ass scheme that don't make no sense. Don't nobody break into no damn place to steal paperwork. That is bullshit for people who are full of shit. But y'all don't understand that because y'all are the same, full of shit. No common sense whatsoever. You don't know shit about business. You don't know shit about money. You barely know anything about life. And you are stuck on that, what is it called? No child left behind bullshit. Some motherfuckers get left behind because they stupid. And then they're smart. And then there's dumb. And if you're dumb, you might not make it as far as a smart person. But smart people are pretty stupid sometimes too, because most smart people ain't got no common fucking sense. We are not the same. We don't end up in the same places. If you want something, you go work for it. You don't fucking steal it. And I can say this because I fucking work. I am American and I pay fucking taxes. A lot more than poors. Y'all know it's true. I be trying to help y'all, but y'all don't try to be listening. You be mad like these liberal people in the chat today. Don't be mad. Go work for it. I don't know why y'all think somebody's supposed to give you shit. That's why y'all out here hiring Ma'am Danby. Who gonna show you? He definitely gonna show y'all because it just doesn't work out that way because you seem to forget this one common sense part of someone taking care of you. If someone is taking care of you, they can stop taking care of you. And what's your plan if/when they do? Typically, y'all don't have one. Just like when 40 Days, 40 Nights happened, y'all crying on the fucking internet like a bunch of freaking kids, talking about how I'm going to feed my kids. Get your ass out there and get a fucking job. How are we going to be able to give my kids candy? Take some money out of your pocket and go and buy it. It's called Supplemental Nutritional Assistance Program. Supplement means you got to bring something to the table, but y'all don't know what words mean. And that's why responsibility, whoever said that earlier, don't know what words mean. Timmy ain't taking no responsibility. He's blaming Donald Trump, who ain't got shit to do with the fraud going on in his damn state. And again, as a person who's doled out fucking child care benefits, I know there's fraud in it. There's fraud in everything, of course. But this amount of fraud, somebody around there knows something. I ain't saying who, even though I'm pretty sure I know who, allegedly. Somebody around there knows something. Outside of some Mollies, there's other people that know something. And they sat up there and they allowed this shit. And now Timmy want to bitch out. Yeah, answer them questions. Because like I said, if your asses get audited like I have been, you can't dodge those questions. And you can't sit up there and say, well, Donald Trump is a 34 count felon. So the fuck what? He still is president because y'all say dumb shit like this. And while a lot of y'all out here talking about, there's going to be a big change in these elections. No, it's not. You motherfuckers are not gonna win shit. I'm sorry, because y'all crazy. If y'all got them people that we just saw a second ago, earlier in this live stream, with them crazy ass looking people that look like they smell worse than pig fucking pen, and you think somebody is listening to them that's got any common sense, I promise you I won't. I promise you I don't. And I promise you that you look just as crazy as them. People should be able to work together and talk about shit, but guess the fuck what? If other people from other countries can come into this country, are dying to come into this country, and want more than anything to come to this country, people who are legitimate people, not people who want to steal shit, and they can make it, and your punk asses can't, that's a you problem, you punk ass bitch.
But it's not just Minneapolis. Here is the mayor of Boston saying there is no history of Boston without including the Somalis.
You cannot talk about any achievement that the city of Boston has had in safety, jobs, and economic development, in education, without talking about the Somali community that has lifted our city up. We are proud and we are grateful for our Somali community and for our Somali.
Always pandering to somebody. Ma'am, you're already the damn mayor. What are you pandering for? So y'all don't have a problem with somebody that freaking panders? She's just doing this for whatever the reason that she's doing it for, which I don't know if she's up to be if she's up for reelection.
You're awesome. You're awesome.
Listen.
You're awesome. You're awesome.
Thank you, Reaper.
You're awesome.
I'm a biatch. Clearly, you can see that. Believe it or don't believe it. I'm a biatch. Okay.
You're awesome. You're awesome. This is amazing.
Ain't too many biatches that I trust. Very few that I trust. And listen to a biatch like this, but I don't live in Boston, so that ain't my problem. But listen to a biatch like this, talk like this, I'd be like, bitch, what? What they got to do with anything? Did she say that about black people? Shout out to the blacks, the coloreds, the chocolates, the ebonies, the FBAs. Did she say that about blacks? No. Did she say that about Hispanics? Nah. Did she say that about white people? Nah. Did she say that about Americans as a whole? Nah. Why is she pandering? Why is she pandering? Why is she singling someone out? Sounds a little racist if you ask me. So you only singling one person out. So somebody need to look into, this is what it just came to my mind, because black people always saying that we're disproportionately affected. Child, are the Somalis in all these different states getting more than anybody else? Not specifically against black people, but everybody else. So if you look at the demographics on any type of benefit, are they getting the most? What's that about? How'd that work? Anybody looking at any of that? Child, shout out to Reaper for 20 memberships. I appreciate you, Boo, as always. If you caught a membership, please make sure you thank Death the Reaper. I see you. I appreciate you as always. I will update the banner in 1 second. Thank you all so much for being here. Please make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe if you are new. Honey Horse? Honey Horse. Oh, thank you, Boo. Amen. This is the best rant I've ever heard. You are a unicorn to me now. Oh, thank you so much, Boo. I appreciate you. Shout out to all of y'all for being here. Please hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you are new. Come on, Woo. Cha. Where's Chantal? Is she in jail yet?
American neighbors. Boston and the country are clear that hate has no place in our society. We will use every attack.
Boston been one of the most racist cities in ever. I mean, they might not be as bad as they used to be, but they used to be a mess.com, as Paul Pierce.
To actually strengthen and expand the services available, to empower and work alongside our community members who are already doing so much good in the world and setting an example for the rest of the country.
So one of America's oldest, most important, and most historic cities would be nothing without the contributions of Somalians. We are being browbeaten into rejecting and abandoning our own culture and history because civility and decency and a high trust society is just too much for the Somalis to integrate into. We are being forced to accept fraud and thievery in the name of diversity and inclusivity. I wonder what the founding fathers...
I wonder why people wanted to get rid of DE&I. Oh my God, I can't imagine why. That's part of the reason why these people are acting and talking so badly is because of the DE&I. It is exactly because they think that DE&I, they think that they're going to make people equal. You cannot do that. It's not possible unless everyone wants to get ran. And I'm not voting for that. I'm going to do what I want to do whenever I want to do it because I pay the cost to be the fucking boss. I don't know why y'all don't like that, but if that's what you like, for somebody else to take care of you, an entity, a government that you're never going to be able to get in contact with, they're going to give you what they want to give you when they feel like it. They're going to determine what you get whenever they feel like determining it. As a person who used to work for the government and dole out benefits, because you got on my nerves, I take my time. I said that because it's true. But y'all want to depend on somebody so bad, and you think you're getting something? Have the fuck at it, child. Have the fuck at it.
Would think of all this. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think George Washington would do about this. Here's a
child. Wait, is it over? Because he went pretty quickly. Hold on. We saw this dude. Hold on. Oh, the libs of TikTok don't play no games. Okay, let's see what this is about. This part right here. Hold on.
Centers and daycares and autism clinics were all ripe for the picking. That's how you get this insane news that Somalia's foreign minister and the ambassador to the United Nations both own fraudulent home healthcare services. Libs of TikTok broke this news. Somalia's ambassador to the UN was a healthcare administrator in Ohio. There is another healthcare company in the same suite as his with a different name, and multiple others at the same address, all with Somali.
Allegedly. Wow.
Names. And here's their foreign minister, who also owns a home healthcare company.
Child, what is going on with these heads?
But the foreign minister's business partner in his healthcare.
Oh, let me go ahead and make sure that everybody is reminded of the fact that Somalis are not black. Okay, I'm black. They're Somali. They made sure that they said that they wasn't black. We're going to allow them to stand on business with that, all right?
Company is a man who worked for a Somali money transfer company who is accused of financing Islamic terrorism. But Donald Trump cut federal funding for childcare services to Minnesota after the discovery of this massive fraud. And they held a press conference in Minnesota publicly opposing this decision, where they accidentally admitted out loud that the whole thing is fraud.
If childcare is cut, I'm unable to work or go to school. I understand fraud is bad.
And I do see some signs over here that say stop fraud, and I agree, stop it. There are wait lists for these programs that are years long. There is fraud,
The bigger question nobody seems to care about is, even if there wasn't any fraud, why are the Somalis receiving taxpayer money to benefit only Somalis? 89% of Somali families with children are on welfare. And then they're receiving more government money to set up free daycares for only their community. It's not like they're taking in white kids.
Oh, so it is only their community. Remember we asked that the other day? So isn't that racist? Isn't that racist? So you don't take nobody else but Somalis? Imagine if I opened up a daycare, somebody came through and I said, child, I only take colored kids. Child, they be to the news real quick and they would be right at my fucking front door. But they can do it and say it, and y'all don't have a problem with that? Not y'all, you know what I'm saying. Well, most of y'all, you know what I'm saying. Oh, but that's okay. In the name of we got to be equal to everybody. Everybody is equal. Child, if y'all don't get the fuck out of here.
Or black kids or Hispanic kids. Americans can't even have kids because the cost of daycare is so high. Yet Somalis who don't work and already receive welfare are given infinite money by the government to have as many kids as they want. They are inserting their primitive tribalism into our politics. But the last thing I'm going to show you is Omar, I'm the captain of this boat now, Fateh, celebrating a judge's ruling to resume funding for the fraudulent Feeding Our Future scam after it was initially cut off due to fraud allegations.
My name is Omar Fatah. I'm the state senator for District 62, which is in South Minneapolis. I want to thank first all of you for sticking together, for working together, for fighting. I want to thank our organizers, Mahad, Ikram, other folks that helped lead this fight. And I want to thank also Amy and her team, Feeding Our Future, for making this first court victory a reality. So first, I want to say thank you to all of you.
The entire Somali community is aware of the fraud that's taking place, and none of them are able to speak out against it due to their extremely tribal culture. It's only possible for them to survive in Minneapolis as an unassimilated Somali if they are embraced and welcomed and supported by the community. And if any of them even thought about exposing the rampant fraud, they would quickly be exiled from the group. That's how you get Omar Fateh, who was almost the mayor of Minneapolis, celebrating a judge's decision to allow their fraud scheme to resume, because they're all on the same page. Rob America for the benefit of Somalia. Tim,
because we allow so much dumb shit and question nothing, child. This is half damn crazy. Let me go over here to, since they mentioned it, this news program where it says Minnesota must provide documents to U.S. government and child care fraud probe by next week. Next week. This is from yesterday. What's taking them so damn long? Instead of being over here thinking of why Venezuela is not up and running after less than a week, help me understand why your business doesn't have documentation that you can send in to prove your business, just like you're supposed to do for tax. Child, imagine how much taxes they must get back, y'all. Anybody think about that? How much taxes must they get back?
New tonight, we are just 2 days into the new year, and state lawmakers in Minnesota are already expressing concerns about a state program that started on Thursday and the potential for fraud.
Garrett Tenney reports it grants up to 20 weeks of paid leave to employees per year.
The honor system is not the best.
Wait, that's what Timmy was just talking about a second ago, y'all. He mentioned that just before he walked out.
Concerns about a state program that started on Thursday and the potential for fraud.
Garrett Tenney reports it grants up to 20 weeks of paid.
So he's supporting this mess. You hear that, right?
Leave to employees per year.
The honor system is not the best way to distribute all this money.
Calling it potentially the next big source of fraud, Minnesota Republican lawmakers are criticizing the state's new paid leave program, warning that 2 days into the program, they are already getting whistleblower reports of people trying to scam it.
Because the law is so broad, you can drive a truck through a lot of these definitions and loopholes.
Under the new billion-dollar program, almost every resident is eligible to take up to 20 weeks of paid leave a year to take.
Child, what the fuck is this? Child, what is this? You can just decide I want to take 20 weeks off. Off from where? Isn't that what employers are for? Isn't that why you work? And then they provide this benefit, but Tim Tom decided that he just wants to give it to anybody that decided, child, I feel like taking 20 weeks off. Holla at me in 19 weeks. What is this? What is this?
Take care of family or for medical reasons while still getting a percentage of their salary on the taxpayer's dime up to $1,420.
On the taxpayer's dime? Minnesota, y'all all right with this? But Timmy wants to blame Donald Trump. Did Trump come up with this bullshit right here? So you trying to tell me that this makes sense? Now, for people that work, you have FMLA, you have if you have a baby, whatever the hell that's called, because child, that's not my thing. You have medical leave. You have other kinds of leave. You have sick leave. You have vacation, all that stuff that because you work and then they provide those benefits. But the state said, you know what? We just going to give you this shit for 20 weeks paid and the taxpayers get to pay for it if you decide that you don't want to work for 20 weeks. Child, please. But Timmy is going to try to put this off on Trump? Ain't no way.
A week.
Minnesotans can take the time they need to be there for life's most important moments.
You can designate one person annually as the person you care for. So I can designate my uncle living in Florida, go on vacation, and it's up to your employer to investigate whether you're really caring for that person or not. Like that's just, there's no guardrails.
Minnesotans need to recognize not a single Republican is responsible for this program.
Governor,
I think that they're okay with that. FMLA just means that you won't lose your job. That doesn't mean that you're necessarily getting paid. It's just job protection at the end of the day. So this is not even FMLA. This is just some bullshit that Timmy came up with over here. Democrats, because they just want to give you free. Oh, yeah. They just want to give you free stuff because that's supposed to be what makes people happy and will continue to get them to vote for them so they can stay in office and y'all still have nothing.
We like free stuff. So we came out here to get all this free stuff. But then the call saying you can't get the free stuff. What? The people want to take it. And how y'all gonna take some stuff that ain't even yours? It's free. So I got my 2 baskets and took the bus or whatever. Wait a damn minute. We get down here, we get some free stuff. We're already in a recession. Times are hard. Why not just let us get the items and invest and be okay? We are Black women. We care about our crown. Why not give back to the community and let us get the product? The tools, any other eviction.
So Big Boy said, I thought women got 12 weeks after giving birth. They do. That's recovery of your body. That doesn't mean that you get paid. If you don't have a job, you don't get paid. If you don't have a job that has benefits, you don't get paid. If you happen to have a job that gives you benefits for you having a kid, like where I work, and they give you more than that, then you'll get paid for it. Other than that, you would get to have your time off. It would be covered under FMLA because you had a baby as a medical reason, but that don't mean that you get paid. What Timmy's playing here, all you got to do is say, I got a headache. And you get a doctor, because there's plenty of doctors that will sign shit to be fraudulent as well. You'll be off for 20 weeks. I think y'all were saying that that's five months. That's nice, isn't it? That the taxpayers get to pay for. Don't y'all pay for enough? Child, don't we pay for enough?
Tim Walz defended his paid leave policy, pushed through the legislature by Democrats, arguing that despite all of the alleged fraud around government programs in Minnesota already being investigated, this law has adequate protections in place.
I'm incredibly proud of this program. And the thing I keep hearing about people, aren't people going to abuse the program? How disrespectful to people to assume that all Minnesotans are scamming. I believe in Minnesotans. I believe they know.
Oh, so we're supposed to believe that he was on top of all this fraud after saying this? Hold on. Say it again, Timmy. Say it again.
In place.
I'm incredibly proud of this program. And the thing I keep hearing about people, aren't people going to abuse the program? How disrespectful to people to assume that all Minnesotans are scamming. I believe in Minnesotans. I believe they know. You're not going to get rich, and it's not your full salary. You're not going to scam and take time off.
As the federal investigation,
you're not going to scam and take time off, but somebody believes that he was looking into the fraud, all this fraud that's been coming down on his head. Who thinks that? Child, who thinks that? Anybody that thinks that, child, you need to go on to Minnesota and go work for Timmy, because you just as delusional as he is. Jay Gerard, I appreciate you, honey. Said it's free, auntie. Everybody just loves free stuff. When did America become so damn lazy? When? What is wrong with y'all? Like, where in your head do you think that someone else is supposed to take care of you as an adult? Y'all barely take care of your own fucking spine. This is crazy. You are an adult. You take care of you. You take care of your kids. Lord have mercy. People always need help. I don't deny that, but damn, your whole damn life, you think that somebody is supposed to give you something because somebody else has something that you don't have? I guess you should go to that person, ask them how they did it, and take the fucking direction and go get it yourself.
This is amazing.
No. Somebody should just give it to me because Kim Kardashian's family got more money. They should give it to us. What? Something wrong with you, MFers. Something wrong with y'all. Everybody should have it. Everybody should have it. No, everybody should work. And Generation Z, y'all ain't shit either. Y'all are the worst. Not that many are here. Not our Gen Z. But y'all are the worst. You just want to be whores on OF, and then you want to just be a freaking influencer, influencing lazy damnness. Just lazy as F. Over and over again, all the daggone time. Then you fail because you're a bunch of freaking failures. Then you want to say it's Generation X's fault. You can kiss my entire ass. No, it's your fault because y'all don't want to listen. Y'all know all the things. Y'all got all the answers and fail every single daggone day because you think you're entitled to something. You're entitled to nothing. Look that shit up too, because clearly you motherfuckers don't know what words mean. I ain't changing shit. I'm growing up. I've grown up. I am Generation X, where teachers actually taught, not sat up there and gave you that damn digital device and you're dumb as a box of rocks and you swear you know something and you don't know nothing. You know nothing. You MFers, if anybody ever gave you a stick shift, you would be lost in the fucking sauce in the middle of the damn desert. Wayne, thank you so much, Boo. He said our community and our systems are so fractured that if the next person asks me who hurt you, my honest response would be Democrats and their supporters. Thanks, Tampon Tim. Thanks, Eon. F them. I agree. That's why there's so many people that was really upset. I mean, enough of it was Trump derangement system, but it was also because that non-black woman was sitting up here telling y'all that she was going to give you all this money and give you all this housing and give you all this and give you all that. And she would have been right up here not giving y'all shit. And y'all still would have said that she was the best thing since sliced damn bread. She wasn't going to give y'all shit. She offered black men weed. I I don't know who these MFers think they are, but they're very insulting. And that's why they're going to lose, because they're not endearing anyone over to their damn side. They're actually pushing people away. They still haven't admitted the fact that they effed that whole Democratic campaign up. They did that shit. They did that shit by allowing Joe Biden's old ass to continue on, in part, replacing him with her, and then sitting up here lying to our damn faces about this shit. Well, some of us aren't stupid. Some of y'all are stupid. We're not stupid. We're not stupid. Shout out to Generation X. Child, I cannot. This is ridiculous.
Investigations into Minnesota continue. Today, the Department of Health and Human Services says it's already received more than 200 tips through its new hotline for Americans to report suspected fraud in childcare.
And you know, the other reason that y'all should have a clue and you should be upset about this mess, thank you, boo, because for all of you lazy asses that sit up here waiting for the government to take care of you, shout out to whoever voted for Ma'am Danby, your resources are being stolen by somebody else that you're fighting for. You are fighting against your own interests. You don't even think that shit through. You don't even hear what you're saying. Oh my God, we gotta be nice. I don't have to be nice to no motherfucker, okay? And I'm not. Fuck y'all. You can't handle it. Scroll the fuck up. Go the fuck on. Grow a pair as well. You are waiting and wanting all this free shit. Someone is allegedly stealing it, many a ones, and you are fighting to have them get it because you hate somebody that you don't know, that don't know you, and at the end of the day don't have no effect on your life whatsoever fucking ever. Especially if you're one of the ones that's been waiting for something like Section 8 for 15 damn years. That ain't got shit to do with him. That has to do with you. Because in 10 to 15 years, if your ass ain't done nothing to improve your life, you are a fucking loser. Loser. Help is temporary. It's not forever. If you need help with something, it is temporary, not forever. And most of you MFers waiting for the government to give you some shit, you ain't even put nothing in that shit. And I promise you, enough of y'all ain't never gave back to nobody. You don't even give shit back. All you want to do is take. And you think we're supposed to sit here and say, yeah, Cisco, or whoever the fuck you are. No. Why don't you give back? Why don't you do something? Go volunteer over there for your 20 hours for those food stamp people over at the Somali daycare and see if they allow you in there. Sounds like they discriminating, but y'all gonna forget all that, right? Y'all gonna sit up there and allow that shit to be? If they only taking Somali people in their daycares and y'all okay with that? But as soon as it be some black person talking about, oh, somebody didn't let me in, it's a racist, but y'all fighting for them? You don't even fight this hard for black people. Shout out to everybody that's here. I'm talking to black people right now. Y'all don't fight this hard for your own effing people. You just want people to do what you want them to do because you think that you know, and you refuse to listen because all you care about is Donald Trump, and he's the last person that any of us need to be worried about. Fuck that nigga. The last person. You need to be worried about people that are at your state level like Tim Tom, and you allow him to deflect. It's his responsibility. It's Ilyan and all the Jason, the mayor, whatever his name is. It's their responsibility to help you. The people at your local fucking level. And you are so freaking persuaded and in a fucking cult with your TDS, you focusing on him, watching the fucking View. Those bitches sit there. The door ain't no good. He took shit from people. He's starving people. He doing this. He was bad. He really wasn't elected, but Donald Trump shit didn't do it right. So Donald Trump ain't do it right, but y'all gonna fight for the alleged non-right way that Somalis did shit. Make that make sense. It just depends on which criminal. It just depends on which criminal. Selective outrage much. We feel sorry for them, so it's okay for them to steal. You sound like them dummies that used to say, they're stealing to feed their families. No, they're stealing because they lazy MFers. That's why they stealing. and you allow it. And then as soon as something comes to your doorstep, then you're like, oh my God, where's the oppressor? Oh yeah, that oppressor that you want to defund. Now you calling on him. Now you mad that they don't show up. Now you sitting up here acting like they not doing right by you after all the things that you didn't do right by them. Child, please. Anyway, you can't talk to people that don't want to listen. And there's enough of you, just by your comments, I can tell, that don't want to listen. You think you know? Cool. Then no. Then stay right where you are. And when the shit don't work out for your ass, and you ain't got shit, and you still over there crying about Donald Trump and worrying about and watching his pockets and watching everybody else's pockets while your pockets got lint in them, that is a you problem. Period, point blank. This one is Trump administration to implement new requirements for child care payments in all 50 states. Good. Rules work. I know y'all don't like to follow rules. Rules work. Follow the fucking rules. You heard? Sheesh.
The Trump administration is expanding its response into alleged fraud by childcare providers, with the Small Business Administration announcing the suspension of nearly 7,000 Minnesota borrowers. On Tuesday, the government froze childcare payments to the state, but it isn't just Minnesota. The administration now says it will implement new requirements for childcare payments nationwide. The move provoked by a viral video alleging fraud at childcare facilities across Minnesota, which has many daycare providers and families rattled, wondering what the cuts mean moving forward now. Maria Steffel, executive director of the Neighborhood Development Alliance in St. Paul, Minnesota, whose organization partners with a nearby daycare, spoke about the impact.
Look at the flag in the background, yeah. Look at the flag in the background. While this is I don't know who this is, MS Now, whoever the hell they are. That's the flag that we're showing here in these United States of America. So, okay.
Of the freeze on funding. Look at this.
You cannot blame an entire community or an entire group of service providers for a clip that is looking for fame. Everything is uncertain for me on what the outlook of 2026 might be.
And joining me now is MS Now reporter Alex Tabbitt. Alex, talk me through what we know about these allegations against these Minnesota borrowers and how the Trump administration is responding and leveraging all of this.
Well, Antonio, this bombshell announcement from the head of the SBA, Kelly Loeffler, is just the next installment of the Trump administration's federal funding.
I did not know that they changed their name. MS Now is formerly MSNBC. Child, what in the holy hell? Thanks for letting me know. Shout out to Wayne with another 2. He said, this is a righteous rant. We got you, Auntie. I know you do. Thank you so much, boo. I appreciate you. Child, this segment's too long. I'm not sitting here listening to 7 minutes of these people. Let's move over here to Care 11. Daycare centers featured in Nick Shirley's video received $6.3 million from Feeding Our Future. Oh, no.
In just the last 2 hours, state investigators providing an update on Minneapolis Somali-owned daycares featured in a viral video by a conservative YouTuber alleging fraud. The Department of Children's Youth and Family says the 9 daycares were operating as expected when investigators went in. They found children at all the daycares except one, but that one hadn't even opened yet.
How dumb are these people sounding? Child, I need to get a job at one of these news stations, child. Everyone went over after the video and miraculously there were children. Oh my God, really? Well, how come they ain't got them damn records to Trump yet, Bueller? Where them records at? Everybody got robbed? What's taking so long? 1 week.
The information contrasts Shirley's claims that the daycares had no children and are fraudulent. But the state does have open investigations against 4 of the daycares in question. And there is another twist here. Several of them are connected to Feeding Our Future, of course, the nonprofit at the center of a pandemic-era meal program fraud scheme that cost taxpayers more than $300 million. Our Lou Ragoose is here with more on tonight's new developments. Lou?
Jennifer, 2 very different taxpayer-funded programs. The daycares featured by Nick Shirley received more than $17 million in child care assistance program funds this year, according to the state. And according to public data I've collected covering the Feeding Our Future fraud scheme for years, 7 of these daycares received more than $6 million in child nutrition program funds.
They spelled learning wrong.
None of the daycares featured by Nick Shirley in his viral YouTube video have formal allegations of fraud against them, but most of them have other violations, according to the Minnesota Department of Human Services. For example, the state's website shows Quality Learning Center, featured primarily for its misspelled sign, had 121 violations over the last 3 years, most recently for areas used by children in disrepair.
Was this place also a Feeding Our Future meal site? Okay.
As first discovered by the Minnesota Star Tribune, several of these daycares received money through Feeding Our Future, whose leader was convicted of facilitating the theft of $240 million taxpayer dollars during the pandemic.
Yeah, there's that white woman, because somebody asked about her. We know that she got convicted, but does that mean that everybody else gets to go just because she got convicted? No, they all need to go down. It's still going on. So she taking the fall, everybody's still going on doing it. Y'all think it should just continue because y'all think everybody should be equal. Child, shout out to Kofi, I appreciate you. He said, just coming through showing love. Keep cooking, going to get educated to get them dust off me and continue to use my passport. Child, I'm using mine too. I'm going with y'all because I can't take these here in the United States because people are too crazy. Thank you so much, Boo. I appreciate you. Woody's Tom, thank you so much. Shout out to all the new subscribers. I see you. I appreciate you. This is crazy. She only has to pay back 5 point. Child, who thinks she paying that back in prison? That woman ain't paying that back. But then again, her people might be collecting and paying the same money back. Let me stop. Allegedly.
Whose leader was convicted of facilitating the theft of $240 million taxpayer dollars during the pandemic. According to Carol Evans records, Minnesota Best Child Care, located in this unmarked building, received $1.5 million from Feeding Our Future, claiming to serve 702,000 meals to children. Quality Learning Center received $509,000, claiming to serve 208,000 meals. The now closed Mako Daycare received $1.5 million, claiming to serve 626,000 meals. In all, 5 current and 2 closed daycares Shirley featured received $6.3 million from Feeding Our Future, claiming to serve 2.8 million meals to kids from 2018 to 2021. But no one from these daycares has been charged with a crime in that massive scheme. One of those former Feeding Our Future sites, ABC Learning Center, invited Carol Evan inside on Tuesday to show they have kids there and push back against Shirley's claims of fraud. Carol Evan confirmed Republican House of Representatives staff provided that location to Shirley's researcher Dave Hoke, along with 2 other daycares.
And I've confirmed with Shirley's researcher Hoke that they are planning to release another YouTube video on Sunday. Again, none of the daycares have received a formal allegation of fraud, either through the child care.
Wait, this was just yesterday. So Nick got another video coming out on Sunday. All right, I'll be on the lookout. We need to be on the lookout for that to see what he gonna show then. I think people should stop showing up at these daycares though at this point, because now at this point, just let it go. Do something else. Do paperwork. Do FOIA request or something. But continuing now to show up to daycares is just weird as far as I'm concerned. We got another one in Louisville. Louisville child care provider voices concerns as Trump administration plans to freeze funding. Oh no, we can't have this. Cam 1010, thank you so much, hon. He said, Messi, love your lies. You're a real one and funny. We need more YouTubers like you. They're going to start saying I'm conservative in a moment, but I am a white supremacist talking point. Shout out to the new people, FYI. Thank you so much, hon. I see you. I appreciate you. Let's see what's going on in Louisville, Kentucky.
Tonight, uncertainty grows after the Trump administration said it's freezing child care funding. This move has some daycares worried about how it could impact local families who depend on those funds. Jamie Mays is looking into the impact tonight. And Jamie, this could hit families across the Commonwealth.
Jennifer, child care centers nationwide would be impacted, including those in Kentucky and Indiana. I spoke to one business in Louisville that says all of the children they care for would be affected. Vermillion Shelton, the owner and director of Kitty College of Louisville on West Broadway, says she's concerned after the Trump administration said it's freezing child care funds to all states.
This affects a child from learning. You know, trying to get everybody kindergarten ready is very important.
The move comes after a YouTuber claimed to have uncovered fraud schemes at Minnesota daycare centers run by Somali immigrants. Shelton says the federal funding they receive provides meals, childcare assistance, and helps with salaries for employees. So this could have a domino effect on her workers, children, and parents who see her center as a safe space for kids.
The parents, they feel more relieved that their children are in a place that they enjoy. And so that helps.
Y'all, they look like grown kids right there.
Helps them to go to work feeling that their children are safe.
The Trump administration is demanding states provide verification about their child care programs before freeing up funding. Representative Morgan McGarvey says Kentucky already monitors for fraud.
We want to root out any fraud that is there. But there have been no allegations of widespread fraud in Kentucky. They're only allegations of something in Minnesota.
And he says freezing the funding would affect 34,000 children in Kentucky.
My fear is what they're doing is going to have a real impact here on Kentucky kids. It's going to have an impact on every parent who already struggles to say, you know what, should I send my kid to childcare? Should I go to work?
Shelton says she will do all she can to keep her daycare running.
Even if I have to use my own funding to keep the business going, to pay the employees, I will try to keep it going as long as I can.
And while all states will have to provide verification and administrative data before they can get funding, child care centers in Minnesota that are suspected of fraud will need even more verification. Minnesota leaders say inspectors found that several of the centers discussed in that viral YouTube video were found to be operating as expected this week during compliance checks.
This week, okay? So you heard what they said. So I used our good friend ChatGPT and said, let me bring you over. Is Trump withholding all child care federal funds in all states? It says no. Trump is not withholding all federal child care funds from all states in a blanket permanent way, but the U.S. government has temporarily frozen or put a hold on some child care funding pending more documentation and verification. So they need more documentation and verification. So why can't anyone seem to give up any documentation or verification, Bueller? This is basically called purchase of care. So what it is people who can't afford daycare, poors, shout out to the poors, okay? Maybe the fake poors, possibly middle class, all right? Can't afford daycare all the way on your own. You go and apply. If you're eligible, they pay a portion of the fee, just like welfare, okay? The check, right? Or, yeah, Section 8, my bad, Section 8, right? Depending on what you qualify for, the state or whoever, the federal government will pay for a portion of it. You pay for the rest. Okay? That's how purchase of care works. It says Trump administration announces pausing or freezing federal child care funding to all 50 states until states provide additional verification and administrative data showing funds are being used legitimately, especially after allegations of fraud tied to child care programs. This affects child care and development fund payments and related federal funding streams until states meet new documentation requirements. The freeze is nationwide in scope, but is tied to a new administrative review process, not some uniform permanent cutoff. So, you know what, TK, you're right. Head Start as well. Thank you, boo. So why can't they provide the documentation? It should already be recorded. If you're a legitimate business, you should have a business license. You should have an EIN number. You should have previous year's taxes. If the state's saying that they're doing everything as far as fraud is concerned, then they should have their list of stuff, not in a filing cabinet, but in a computer, and be able to send that off so that that woman in the last segment don't have to be worried, okay? We know why it's happening. What it isn't. This is not a Congress formally revoking federal child care funding permanently. Congress still authorizes these programs. It's a policy action by the executive branch to delay disbursement pending further checks, not an outright termination of the program. So some of these damn news stories be lying, and some of these daggone people be lying too. Because that's what I keep saying, right? How come y'all ain't got no paperwork to send in? That's all you got to do. Why is this so hard? Why is this so hard? This is another program, and Head Start, honestly, thank you for saying that as well, is another program that's been in place forever. Head Start is definitely for the poors, okay? Because it's supposed to be something, a school where kids that are like 4 go before they can get into kindergarten. And they get to eat there, so that's why they be sending them funds for food and, you know, whatever the hell else it is that they get. Why can't anybody provide any documentation? Because probably nobody has had to all this daggone time. It seems rather simple to me. Like I said, with a tax audit, I'm going to have to provide some shit or they not going to give me my tax refund. I cannot provide the shit, but then that's going to also have more scrutiny on me. See, that kind of is how this works. You ain't got the shit. They're going to keep looking at you and looking at you because why? What's going on? This your job. This your business. What happened? You want our money? You want this money? Then I'm going to need you to give me what I want. Much like, oh, you want to eat and you want me to feed you? Then you're going to do what we say. Work them 20 hours per week, 80 hours a month. Oh, you don't like it? That's fine. You ain't getting this money for food. Ciao. That's what happens when you depend on other people to take care of you. I don't know how many times I got to say it, but Child, what the hell do I know? I don't know shit. What else I got for y'all? I'm not going to get the CGA because it's too long today. Maybe I'll do it for lunch on Wednesday. Oh, here's one. Okay. Wood TV 8. Child care providers say freeze in federal funds would hurt low-income families. Poors. They talking about y'all. Poors. I be trying to help y'all. Y'all don't want to listen. Don't say I don't be trying to help y'all. I be telling y'all. All right. Let's see what they got to say, y'all.
6 o'clock today, child care providers say the Trump administration's decision to freeze federal child care funding will hurt low-income families, forcing some parents to stop working. The freeze is in response to allegations of fraud in Minnesota. Target 8 investigator Ken Kolker has more on this story. Ken?
Sue, the Trump administration says it's freezing the federal child care funds to all states until they can provide more proof of how they spend that money. It's in response to allegations of fraud at Minnesota daycare centers run by Somali residents. Yvonne Hardiman has run a daycare center at her Grand Rapids home for 20 years and counts on federal funding to stay open. So the Trump administration says it's freezing child care federal funding.
Shocked.
She watches 5 kids from her Southeast Side neighborhood, 4 whose care is paid for by the Federal Child Care and Development Fund. Anywhere from $500 to $1,000 every 2 weeks, she says. She says it's the only way their parents...
Wait. How much?
Southeast Side neighborhood, 4 whose care is paid for by the Federal Child Care and Development Fund. Anywhere from $500 to $1,000 every 2 weeks, she says. She says it's the only way their parents can keep working. What kind of...
So they can't prove anything? It's $500 to $1,000 for one daycare here.
That would have on what you do?
That's going to be a bad impact. Not only on the providers, but the parents, because they count on us totally to be like the other parent,
Yeah.
With the other parent or the other grandparent or,
The Child Care and Development Fund helps low-income families pay for care for children under 13 while their parents are working, training for a job, or going to school. The latest figures show it helped 1.4 million children and 871,000 families per month nationwide. It's not clear how many of those families are in Michigan. The board chair of the Child Care Providers Association of Michigan, which represents about 500 providers, says they are left with uncertainty.
If some of the at-risk funding is affected, then families have to pick up that bill, and then families will have to identify if they want to persist in paying for childcare costs or if they have to leave the workforce. So it affects everybody. It's not just childcare. I mean, if we don't have childcare, then workforce in general will go down.
She says about 40% of the 100 children at her daycare center, the Bright Light Early Care and Education Center in Battle Creek, are covered under the program.
Child, all I see is white kids. Are they racist? That should be allowed. If Somalis can say only Somalis come to their daycare, then the white people can say only white kids can come to their daycare.
They are kids and they are families and they are staff, right? Because it trickles down. There's no way there's not enough margin in childcare to provide care for families without having reimbursement, which means that staff jobs will also be cut.
However, she says that in the long run, if the federal government eliminates fraud, that would be good for the program.
I could get angry, but I also believe that maybe this, allegation in Minnesota is creating some accountability that actually gets funding to kids that need it.
As for Yvonne Hardiman, she's waiting to learn what happens next.
discouraging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, does it mean that they're targeting low-income families and children?
It's disheartening.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're not like they're targeting low income and whatever he said, low income families. I don't think it's a target at all. It's not a target at all. It's everybody. So I don't think it's the particular daycare's, each individual daycare's job to turn this stuff in. I think it's the state, because they're the ones that should be holding an accounting of all this type of stuff, knowing what's going on, blah, 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 blah. Because Timmy said that he was covering off on the fraud, didn't he? Send that shit in. Send that shit in. Now they want to sit up here and play on people's hearts. It's going to hurt poors. They talking about y'all. Poors. They talking about it's going to hurt y'all. It's going to hurt a couple other people, not just y'all. Okay? But like I said, people want to depend on the government. This is what you get. You got to comply with the person that's taking care of you, whatever that means. Food, housing, bus, daycare. Y'all just won't get it. Y'all just don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm about to pass this on to the parents now.
Yeah.
A spokeswoman for the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services says the agency is still waiting on guidance from the federal government, so it's not clear what the impact will be in Michigan or how the state will respond.
Right.
Good evening. Thank you for joining.
Yeah. Good luck to those people, Cha. Good luck to those people. Let me see what else I got for y'all. So we want some more Trump derangement syndrome. Let's take a look at this. This is off subject. We done with Timmy and Trump for today. All right, I'm done with them. I've had enough. Here is Chicago, child. Chicago's faith leaders protest property tax hikes outside of Trump Tower. Now I know everything is Trump's fault, yeah. But we already know what's going on in Chicago with Brandon Johnson raising property taxes. How is this Donald Trump's fault? How is this Donald Trump's fault? I told y'all, a dime every time.
Back here at home, faith leaders gathered with community members outside of Trump Tower this morning to protest property tax hikes. They're calling those hikes a modern-day land grab that's devastating the west and south side. They met at Trump Tower because they say that building's property taxes were reduced, while people living in West Garfield Park in North Lawndale saw their taxes go up as high as 133%. They are condemning the Cook County.
So Trump Tower's business, whatever this is, their taxes went down, Trump. But the people over wherever they just named, their taxes went up 133%. Now, whose fault would that be? Is that Donald Trump's fault? Or is that Brandon's fault? Didn't Brandon do this? Ain't he in charge? Oh, yeah, he just comes out and says Trump's name too, and everybody falls for it, hook, line, and damn sinker.
Calling those hikes a modern-day land grab that's devastating the west and south side. They met at Trump Tower because they say that building's property taxes were reduced, while people living in West Garfield Park in North Lawndale saw their taxes go up as high as 133%. They are condemning the Cook County Assessor and the Board of Review for what they call targeted property tax hikes on poor and working-class families. Faith leaders say this is a moral crisis, not just a financial problem, and they will not back down.
Because for those of us in places like West Garfield Park with a 133% increase, Lawndale with a 99% increase, Inglewood with an 80% increase, and a 39% reduction for Donald Trump.
They're just going to find a way to bring that man's name in no matter what. Why are y'all not in front of Brandon's house? Why are you not over there where Brandon gets his high-ass haircuts? How he had his wife's office taken care of. How come that don't come up?
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
I'm confused. I'm just so confused. They're gonna find a way to blame that man for everything.
So clearly, Donald Trump gets the tax break, and on the west side, we get the tax bill.
They're calling for an immediate rollback and freeze at prior levels. Both candidates for Cook County Assessor have agreed to participate in a public debate on this issue. That date has not been announced.
Oh, they're going to have a public debate. I'm pretty sure that's going to help them with their taxes. I know damn well you didn't say they need to vote differently. Oh, no, that sounded a bit racist, child, a bit racist. Let's look at Tip's video and then I'm done. It says, shout out to the Tip Network, 127,000 former masterminders. Shout out to them. It says, old bust down gets caught with the filter fail. Kevin Samuels called it and is tagging Corey Holcomb. Oh, Lord, help your people.
His name was Kevin. That was that dude who was talking to all those women about high value men and things like that. And I had went on his talk show once, and he told me.
Child, who couldn't tell this was a filter or a lot of makeup? It's either filter or a lot of makeup. Either way, it's too much.
His name was Kevin. That was that dude who was talking to all those women about high value men and things like that. And I had went on his talk show once, and he told me pretty much that because I was a 50-year-old woman that I didn't qualify for a high value man. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to believe that, because it's hundreds and thousands and millions of men in the world. I know they on Facebook dating and stuff, but.
Yep. You see how that filter went away? She got to be trolling. She got to be trolling. You go sit here with that filter talking about Kevin Samuels. You turn around, you look like a whole different person. Man, if you don't stop, hold on a second.
In the world, I know they on Facebook dating and stuff, but.
Dog. She talking about she don't look 50. She looks 62 right here. I mean, this is the problem, right? You get on these filters, you do stuff like that. You be killing your own credibility.
God damn it! You can't make this shit.
People like savages.
I still have not found a man, and I keep.
Well,
what?
I don't know. Listen, I will never say that somebody 50-year-old can't find a man, but what she's probably looking for somebody of such a high caliber, and she's probably overshooting. And this is what happens. She probably spent her whole youth making some money. And she was probably making some great money. I'm not gonna lie. This lady was probably getting it good. And she could be making $150,000 a year, but she doesn't understand that that's gonna whittle her pull down if she wants that to like less than 10% of men she comes across. And if she's dating race specific, it's gonna be like 5% of black men. Right. And so if that's what she wants, now I'm not saying, I don't know, open it up or date whoever you want. I don't crotch watch. I think that's whack, right? But regardless of what, if she's looking for a high value individual, if you haven't wrangled that person when you are young, then you are inside chick territory. I hate to tell you. That's just the way it is. That's the way the ball bounces. That's the way the story goes.
Keep trying to look younger and younger and younger. And I know
you cannot look younger and younger and younger. Ain't nothing worse than a female trying to look young. Have you ever seen somebody out there trying to make themselves look young? How absolutely disgusting it is. Have you ever seen a lady wearing clothes that she shouldn't be wearing? You out here dressed like a female YN. I see the stupidest thing I see. Like, how ladies be showing their G-string on the side. I was at the gym, but it was this lady. She had to be older than me. And she had
not to cut you off, but I see this eyeball on her shoulder. I feel like it's looking at me. I feel like, why are you over there looking at me? Shout out to Mace. That look crazy.
On those some sweats, but you could see her G-string on the side, and she had a crop top. And I'm like, all right, cool. Whatever you're doing, however you want to do it is your life, right? It's cold as hell in this gym. I know you're cold because you got half your ass out, but why are you a grown-ass old woman doing that? She's doing that because she needs the attention that she had earlier. She yearns for that attention. She wants somebody to say something to her so she can complain. I ain't going for the banana in the tailpipe. You can take your dusty, rusty old ass away from me. I don't want nothing to do with it.
no, I don't look like I'm in my 50s. So what is it? Can you help me?
Ma'am, that filter is hiding them wrinkles.
Yeah, what is it?
There ain't nobody of any substance.
Yes,
all you bitches who be calling old boy, or used to call the brother, what's the brother out of Atlanta? Who used to talk to the ladies?
Kevin Samuels?
Man, when Kevin Samuels be talking, he told that one girl, that girl said, well, what I got to do to get a high value man? He said, be reincarnated.
That's not settling. That's getting what you can afford.
Shout out to, what is it called? Oh my God, what did they call it? She was part 2, but this was a good one. This is a good one. That episode, she was not trying to have it. Shrek the Black version was not trying to hear it.
To buy on the sexual marketplace.
Okay, so if I wanted a high value man, what do I do?
Be reincarnated.
Oh, Lord. Dang, I can't remember his last name, but his name was Kevin. That was that dude who was talking to all those women about high value men and things like that. And I had went on his talk show once, and, he told me pretty much that because I was a 50-year-old woman that I didn't qualify for a high value man. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to believe that because it's hundreds and thousands and millions of men in the world. I know they on Facebook dating and stuff, but.
Yep. You see how that filter went away? She got to be trolling. She got to be trolling. You gonna sit here with that filter talking about Kevin Samuels. You turn around, you look like a whole different person. Man, if you don't stop, hold on a second. Look at this. Look at this.
In the world. I know they on Facebook dating and stuff, but.
Dog. She talking about she don't look 50. She looks 62 right here. I mean, this is the problem, right? You get on these filters, you do stuff like that. You be killing your own credibility. See, now she got to be trolling me, right? She got to be trolling me. Dead ass. Now look at how she go back. Let's so nice. I got to do it twice. Look how she go back. Now she young. Listen, if you are sitting here playing games with people like that.
I thought does Snapchat still exist with the filters? I used to play that with my granddaughter. We would have so much fun. I love doing those filters. Like, people really trying to act like that's what they really look like. I mean, you can have a slight filter, but don't be talking all this shit when everything is so much. I don't even know how to describe it. And then you're wearing makeup allegedly. I don't know if she is, but then be wearing RuPaul-ish looking makeup too.
It's cool. Maybe you're on TikTok just trying to make it funny. Maybe that's your personality. But you over here talking about Kevin Samuels said I was too old. And maybe he was right. Then you turn aside, you look like the Crypt Keeper. He older than old, bro. It is okay to be old. I remember when I first came on stream, somebody was like, yo, you oldest? And I was like, yes, I am. I came up in the late 80s and early 90s where people were giving out bullets like Swiss cheese. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be this age. And I ain't hiding nothing. I don't color my beard. I don't color nothing. I'm not going to do it because I'm okay being me. So I understand building your value. I understand coming up, and I am proud of the age that I put on my face to do it. I'm proud of the problems I have. If I got back problems because I work hard, well, God damn it, I work my way to those back problems. And hopefully the people who come after me never have to experience that. And they can have a desk job for the rest of their life. That's fine. But what I'm never going to do is hide who I am. And this is a problem here. And all of these filters and all of this makeup and all of this stuff, you come out here thinking you a hottie and you ain't a hottie. You're the damn Crypt Keeper, mama. I mean, let's look at it. Jesus Christ. Let's look at this one more time. And you over here talking about, you over here talking about I can't get myself.
I might have to pull this and call it the Crypt Keeper. Oh, shit.
Somebody, and he must be right. Yeah, and you ain't even representing yourself right. Take your ass to a 65, 70-year-old man, go into the retirement home, pour him some water, give him some Epsom salt, pat him on his flabby old ass, and go into the retirement home with him.
I haven't met one yet. Not one that has chosen me.
He used to kill his ass when he do this.
Corey ain't that one though.
What? Hey man, look. Have you ever watched those tapes of Kevin Samuel?
No. For all the flack that Kevin Samuels got, he sure was right about it, but wasn't he? I disagree with him with like not caring what somebody make if you make enough money. I think that you want someone to bring to the table. But hey, let me tell you something. You must be out of your freaking mind and not know that this man has some type of knowledge. This man will spit some type of facts because right now it's cold as hell. And you see how people was acting with the SNAP benefits.
It's not even cool. Like, why do they do that? What's the point of food stamps if it's just for real food?
Girl, what in the hell is going on with this heifer? Lord help your people.
Acting with the SNAP benefits.
It's not even cool. Like, why do they do that? What's the point of food stamps if it's just for real food?
Tina Moore believes she and other SNAP recipients should be able to go into the grocery store and buy whatever they like. Soda, candy, prepackaged sweets, prepared desserts, and juice.
Child, with this is 40 days, 40 nights. You can go and buy whatever you want. Use your own GD money.
With less than half of natural fruit or vegetable juice in it will not be allowed to be purchased on SNAP cards.
I don't know what Trump is doing. I don't know what's going on.
You seen how people was acting with that Section 8. Oh man, these boss babes was tripping.
Y'all want to know why I can't work? I can't work because I have kids.
Now, how many of y'all have family members, friends, people you know that's been living off Section 8 for 20 years? They rent $3. They don't go to work. Not that they can't go to work, they don't want to go to work. I'm talking to these ones that your mama been on Section 8 all her life and she ripping and running and doing this and doing that. And then you seen she was on Section 8, paid $3 rent. So now you as a young girl, because you done got pregnant and you got a baby, you go run out there and get on Section 8 and you ain't working and you having child after child after child and y'all all on Section 8 getting food stamps $1,000 a month. And no, that's all about to stop. That's who I'm talking to.
Even the boss Somalian babes who's talking about how, Somalians come here and 8% of them driving Benzes and this and that, they make so much money. And then you look at Minnesota and 80% of them been on welfare for 10 years.
Let me ask the question one more time. Somalis, after having lived in America, Minnesota for 10 years, what percentage of them take welfare still after 10 years? Rob, can you pull this up now, please? Watch this, folks. When you look at this chart, it shows the gray shows Somali immigrant households in Minnesota after 10 years. Look how many of them are still taking welfare.
Does that say 81%? What does that say?
78% of those who have been here more than 10 years.
Oh, hold on. Shout out to PBD Podcast. Pores, are you here? Liberals. This is what you're fighting for. This is what you're fighting for. So they get it and you don't, and you mad because you can't go buy junk food with food stamps. Well, child, the least you could do is make sure that people who shouldn't be having it get caught. But y'all want to cut for these people? Y'all go ahead, because child, we just use our own money. Y'all want to depend on the government. So they telling y'all what to do. No soda, no snacks, no tacos, no Doritos, none of them Fritos. You buy it. Now y'all mad. I should have to have a soda. Buy it. You can have all the sodas you want on your dime.
81%? What does that say?
78% of those who have been here more than 10 years.
And you're like, hold on a second. If daddy government wasn't helping you, you wouldn't be worth a damn. And that's the problem that we have here. And let me tell you something, folks, and I got to say this 100%. If the government says they're here to help you, they're lying to you. You should pair up. Find help within yourselves. Find help within the family unit. If you
pair up, what's he talking about? Pair up? Get married? Have a relationship together before you have kids? Child, where they do that at?
You can get a good family unit and you're going to be good. And ladies, I know you thinking that a lot of dudes ain't ish out there, but you are walking by quality fellas. And I'm not telling you to lower your standards. I'm telling you that your standards may be dumb as if you live for your life and you 50 years old and you ain't never met the right dude, you ain't been looking for the right dude. You didn't walk past the right dude. You didn't told the right dude that you ain't my type. You friend zoned that right dude and he went and he married your homegirl and him and your homegirl got a bunch of kids and they living a good life. Kevin Samuels was warning you about that. Don't get mad at the brothers when they go to Maria. Don't get mad at the brothers when they go to Maya. Don't get mad at the brothers when they go there, because let me tell you, those girls down south in Southern California.
Oh no, not go to Maria and Mariah. No, you can't do that.
California, those girls down south in South America, those girls down south in Mexico, they'll hook a plate up and they'll keep you and treat you right if you treat them right. I'm not.
Oh no, now you're talking about South America. Ain't that where Venezuela is? They down there cooking. Who said that? Big Boy said marriage is slavery. Cooking is slavery. Washing clothes is slavery. I do believe folding clothes is slavery, y'all. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. You know I hate folding clothes, y'all. You know I hate folding clothes. Yeah, no passport, but Passport Bros is going down there. Make sure y'all look into it. They getting a reprieve for me right now because I got to keep up with this Maduro and this childcare stuff. But I think I saw where some of them were saying that they was going to go to Venezuela Tearing up the whole daggone planet, child.
Saying it's 100%, but I'm saying I've seen it and I'm living proof of it. So what I'm telling you is that you have to be competitive in the marketplace. Men have to be competitive in the marketplace. When I came into the marketplace and I was walking around with my gut hanging out and my ass out of my jeans, I knew it wasn't the way. I knew it wasn't doing good. And the stress of a man led me to lose some damn weight. The stress of just knowing that I wasn't good enough, listening to my dad saying I got to be 10 times better, and turning around looking at myself and saying I'm not fulfilling that. So I had to get my together.
That's slavery too. Talking about, oh, you got to be 10 times better than anyone else. That's Black stress. That's Black fatigue, sir. We shouldn't have to do all that. I'm just repeating what be said, what people be saying.
So ladies, you got to get your together. If you're out there and you haven't met somebody, look at your attitude. You over here acting like Leslie Jones, super masculine. You want to throw hands with a man, then wonder why the man don't want to take you to bed. I don't want to take nobody to bed who want to fight me. This ain't erotic to me. So get some femininity to yourself, and then you'll be okay. And that's the problem that we're having nowadays.
They pop up in the algorithm on my YouTube. It is so sad watching these women thinking they finna make a point and they have none.
So does that mean I got work to do? Or was Kevin right?
No, that filter got work to do. That filter got to stay on when you turn your head to the side. So when you're looking forward, you're looking good, right? And like I see a little makeup on your neck, or I see some creases on your neck, so I know it's crazy. Yeah, but we really need to go to work. Is if you don't keep that facade, you need to get a filter to cover your whole face. Hell, I mean, I don't know. I do videos. Like what we do is we get you a green screen and it'll help you out.
Nah, Kevin wasn't right.
It happened again.
Right?
Nah, Kevin wasn't right.
You see when she waved her head, boy, she went from young to old, man.
But she's freaking still single. A man been dead for going on 4 years, but he wasn't right. I don't know. Is the hate for Donald Trump the same as the hate for Kevin Samuels, or is it worse for Trump than it was for Kevin Samuels, child? I feel like those are two of the most hated men in the United States. Crazy. Anyway, child, that's it. That's all I got for y'all. It's been 3 hours. Time flies when you're having fun. Shout out to y'all. I appreciate you hanging in there. Shout out to Reaper, the stream sponsor today with 20 memberships. Again, if you did get a membership, please make sure you thank that Reaper. We getting ready to get on up out of here. Hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you are new. Back tomorrow. I think tomorrow. It's kind of up in the air. I'm tired, y'all. I'm tired. And you know what I'm about to do right now? Go find something to eat, as always. But shout out, turn on the notifications. If you didn't see the video from this morning, make sure you go ahead and see it. Bishop Wooden had something to say about Jamal Bryant's crap. Hopefully there's no more talking about Jamal Bryant. I'm sick of his ass. Anyway, y'all, again, hit the like button for me. What are we going out on? What's her name go? I haven't seen her in a while. Hold on a second. I've rearranged everything. I don't know where nothing is. There we go. I appreciate y'all. I see you all in the next one.
I cleaned your house. It took me 6 hours to clean your house yesterday. I changed my number for you. I take care of your 5 kids. I push your 5 kids out my pussy. With no medicine. Natural births, breastfed all 5 your kids. You're not going nowhere, say mine. You're not going nowhere. You're not. Till death do us part. To death. Somebody has to die before. And I swear to God, nigga, if you die, I'm coming with you. If I die, I'm taking you with me, nigga. Ain't nobody gonna have you but me. Ain't nobody gonna have you but me. I don't give a fuck, nigga. We've been together 9 years. 9. It's gonna be 19. It's gonna be 90. It's gonna be 9,000 years. You're not going nowhere. Exactly, my son said, stay away. Stay away from our dad. Our leave our family hate me.